the cockroaches. Burn the cockroaches. Burn the cockroaches. Seal in the demons. Seal in the demons. Seal in the demons. The demons. Seal in the demons forever and ever. This is where they belong. Here. Forever. They can devour each other here forever and ever and ever.
Bloody hell, who's calling? Fuck's sake. El Diablo, can you get that? El Diablo, pick it up, please. Hello. 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 Hello, hello. Welcome to the greatest show. It's showtime. It's showtime. It's showtime. It's showtime. Do you like that? How do you like that? Welcome to the show. And I'm King Stephen, the showstopper. Hello, William. Hello, Meph. Hello, Kiwi. Hello, Louise. It's showtime. You ever seen that movie Beetlejuice? There was a guy on Jack Twatcott show earlier today. I think he might be from the Beetlejuice movie, the original one. Have you all seen the original Beetlejuice movie? Do you remember that movie? Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Let's see here. Jack Twatcott's shit show earlier today.
It is because mankind has been enabling excuses.
He says the same thing every day. Same shit every day. When did I join his show? He put me to sleep.
Think inadequate and to think selfishly. Praise God. Another day is beginning. Welcome back, Stephen. How are you, my friend?
Hello, hello. I'm doing very well. I'm feeling blessed. How are you, Jack? Praise God. Bless you.
I am so excited what the future will reveal, my brother. Oh my God. I have so much to be excited about. We all do. We all have a lot to be excited about as far as the future comes. But man, my story is kind of nuts. I don't know where I'm going. I got like 2 weeks left till that scheduled plan, and I'm wondering what's going to happen there. Are they still going to host a training session while the recovery is in the community, or what's going on? I don't know what's happening with me. I also know that today I'd forgot in the schedule of my calendar, it got these reminders. Today is the day of the local gathering. My union brothers and sisters were gathered again today. And they've still not spoken to me in years, and it blows my mind. So,
Do they gather and get stoned every year? What is the gathering?
no, the
When they,
local union meeting, they get together and talk shop and discuss, what's.
hello, Anafe. Good to see you. Hello, Salty Siren. Salty Siren has a new man, everyone. She's not single, she's taken. Hello, Nick. How are you doing? How are you doing, Nick? I thought Salty was going to fall in love with me and try to steal my heart. There's been a few women here that have fallen in love with me. Ladies love El Diablo. That's a fact, Jack. Holy cows, man. Holy cows, man. It's showtime. It's showtime. It's good to see everyone here. Please hit the like button on the way in. Hello. Hello. Please hit the like button on the way in. Hello. Once again, it's showtime. It's showtime. It's good to have everyone here today.
What's going on at work.
Oh, they talk about the post office. Why would they want to know? Why would you want to know what's going on at work? You haven't worked in 6 years. You got fired. You got terminated. Your coworkers don't want to talk to you. You're delusional. You're hanging on. Completely delusional. When you get fired, you're done. You're done. Move on. You're delusional. You're delusional. Is outside of work?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, I wouldn't be interested in that. What? Who wants to talk about work?
Well, it's a path that I
Hello, Carmen. Hello. Good to see you.
see to fulfill my dream. I kind of danced around this in my earlier monologue.
Did he have hair in his mouth? He was picking away at something. I think maybe he had a beard hair in his mouth from that scraggly, unkempt, ugly gray beard. It's, it's, oh, I think he had a hairball in his mouth. It's just gross. This creature. What is this thing? What is this thing? Look at this. Did he have a hairball?
But I said the words last night on Truth or Cops
Has he been licking at his beard?
channel, and it feels honest. I believe that my destiny could
Yes, he had a pube in his mouth. He's got pubes in his mouth.
benefit. I think America could benefit if somehow, some way,
Is that stains on his Veterans for Peace? Is that DNA? Is that semen? What did he do to this hoodie? It's got stains on it, like he maybe had it in his bed with him and he jerked off on it or something. What is this? What's going on? This is perverted. This is perverse. Twatcott, you're a pervert. You're a pervert.
I introduced myself to Donald Trump, and we all met at the White House and got together a game plan on how America could really lead the world into reformations and transformations. Radical reforms has been in my mind for a while, and today it's
radical reforms. But nobody listens to you. Like, you don't get respect from anybody. There's reasons for that. You got to earn respect. You can't disrespect kings like me and expect any respect in return. Look at them. Just look at them. Look at that thing on the screen. Look at them.
joyous celebrations. Well, the reason the union meeting comes up is
Pooyah on your union meeting. You're not part of the union. They threw you out. They don't want to talk to you.
through connections of the labor organizations. Hello, hundreds of thousands of people could be involved.
I think he's blowing bums behind the dumpster at Starbucks. There's a Starbucks there, I think, with a 7-Eleven, and he's behind the convenience store giving blowjobs. He's a creep. This creepy cot creature. He's part of the cockroach club, the CC, the cockroach club.
Involved and included. Hello, we could create, working together, we could create the call to action to make this happen. And the people in Spokane, part of my past, the postal.
This stinky, vile, mangy creature. He kicked me off his show again today. He kicked me off his show more than once.
Service is. I still hope to help that place become a better place to work. The way they treat some of their employees, it's not cool.
Can almost hear the gears grinding in his head. There's something very unstable about Jack Twatcott. Very unstable.
So I'm actually trying to help people, Stephen. Why you wouldn't care about those people?
Do you think Trump would help? Do you think Trump would look at him nodding his head? Look at this. He would help people?
Yeah, I do. Hey, there's someone who's been in the back for a little bit. Give me just a second here. What is this one? Oh, yeah. If there be any virtue and if there be any praise, let's think on these things. King Kook. King Kook.
Hello. Hello.
I'm pretty sure I know who that is.
That's JG, I think. He's got a crush on me, Jack. He hasn't come out as gay, but I think he is gay. I think he is. I got him right away. He wants to be me. He's homeless. Wants to be me. Look at I got him right away. I knew who it was. He's a loser. He's obsessed with me. I think. He's got a crush on me, Jack. He hasn't come out as gay, but I think he is gay. I think he is. He wants to be me. He's homeless, but he wants to be a king.
Hey, you know what?
Hold up. Hold on. Steven?
Don't play with yourself now.
You're a flawed human being.
Hey guys, let me come back to this. Stu Peters is another interesting character of our time. I've seen some of his work and I've been like, whoa, how did you follow that and get to there? But then I've seen others of his work and he's sharing some pretty good stuff. This Occupied, I wonder if that's the one I saw. I saw one or two of his recent releases. And Stu Peters, I encourage you, check out his work for yourself and find your own choices. But I wouldn't mind talking to him, and I want to speak to whoever, anyone who's risen and willing to help me rise to greater places. That's who I actually want to spend time with.
I bet you do. I bet you do. I've never heard of Stu Peters, but he's not homeless, is he?
No.
Jack, I don't think you realize who Donald Trump is and what he's a part of, who he works for.
I'm aware of more than most people would think.
Who does he work for, JG?
Who's he work for? He's a fucking pawn for the Zionists, for the elites. It's been proven. It's factual.
Is he?
Well, here, only the confused can become misled. Only the confused will mislead. Donald Trump is clearly confused. I have no doubt he's been misled. I have no doubt he may be allied and trusting the advice of people who aren't really in the greater picture worthy of trust. He's got proven evidence of that. He's a man who's made mistakes. He's evidence of today. And the thing is I understand the guy. And
Do you? This is El Diablo Radio International, the greatest show in hell. Nobody does it better. Nobody. Please remember to hit the like button on the way in. I appreciate it. The ones who've already liked this video, supporting my channel, thank you very much. I appreciate the support. And I could use much more support. Much more support. I want to reach as many people in this realm as I can. How many people can we reach in this realm? How many? How many pay attention?
I understand him better than he understands himself. I understand him better than he understands himself because I understand God. And I understand what it means to...
You don't understand anything or anyone. You don't even understand yourself. You're a narcissist, Talcott, with a short fuse.
Be an honest man.
You're not honest. You're thin-skinned.
And Donald Trump has not learned the value of becoming honest or humble.
Stop talking about value. You don't have any value.
Or kind or compassionate. Well, he's lived a different life. But I know he could benefit from speaking with me. And I know for sure.
He's a stinky bum. He's a stinky bum. Jack's a stinky bum. He's got the stinky bum. He's got the stinky beard. He's a stinky bum. Just like Callie's a stinky bum. She's a stinky bum. And he's a stinky bum. They're both stinky bums. They got the stinky bums.
He can help me get some damn justice from the Postal Service.
Did he help you get some new underwear? Maybe? A beard trim? Perhaps? Shampoo for your hair? Or what's left?
This wrongful termination.
It's not wrongful termination. You're delusional.
The post office won't help me speak to Trump. I'll get Trump to help me speak with the post office. One way or another, I'm going to come out on top on this. Because I know God is with me. God is with us all.
Fake King, that's the wrong way to enter my channel, my chat. You're gone, dummy. You tired of me covering this? Well, go away. Go watch something else. Scurry away, cockroach. He's the stinky bum. He's got the stinky bum. Go away, cockroach.
But we get to choose what we do with it all. Every day we get to choose. What do we want to do with our time? The time we've been given. Here, I'm going to promote someone else too, man.
If you're going to ask a question, use a question mark. You dumbass. Look at this twat cod here.
I've mentioned this guy many times as well. John St. Julian.
Baba.
This man is
Baba.
Creating an orphanage. He's
Baba.
actually working with government and organization towards the confronting of human trafficking, child sacrifice. Evil things are happening in this world.
He loves the Negro African children, this guy.
And I feel so inspired because there's men like John St. Julian living the life he's living, and he speaks about his devotion to God.
I think Jack admires his beard. He's envious of this guy's beard.
to God's presence, God's grace, to the guidance of the Christic through his choices. And he's a beautiful messenger that I encourage people to check out. I'll include these links in the description at a later time after the stream. But his discussion today, the illusion of time and how time is being used to prey on mankind's life force. It's a beautiful conversation. And here, we've got another guest here. Sorry, thank you for waiting. Welcome, brother.
Hey, how you doing, Jack? I'm glad you had brought up one person that you were promoting, because obviously you're not allowed to talk about those things anywhere. But I just want to say that regarding Stu, the things that he mentions, it's actually supported by biblical scripture. So I just want to share that with you. I know it sounds insane, but it is.
There's naive people, whether there's evil people, then there's naive people.
Goblin always looks dirty. He just has that dirty look of a street urchin or something.
There's a lot of people who are going along and doing things without the awareness of what it is.
He does look like a goblin. He really does.
They're doing. And here's the thing, the way God has created everything, there's a perfection and an order to it all. From all the perspectives, it can all be true, right? There's evidence to support Netanyahu and some of the influence of him, including the involvement of the American people regarding the accelerationists, right? People who focusly want to bring hell and destruction and division here to earth. Why? Because the order brings forth the Christ, the return.
He always has to have his webcam on to show how ugly he is.
The glory will overcome the darkness. So there's people who think their evil intentions are somehow...
Ugly goblin has the stinky bum. He has the stinky bum. He's got the stinky bum. He's a stinky bum.
How good.
He's a stinky bum.
By God's grace, that's how the devil works, right?
He's got the stinky bum.
And I'm glad that you mentioned that as well, because I am coming. You and I have actually spoke about this a little bit, but I've come to the understanding that that's the same entity. As crazy as that may sound.
Missing teeth, crazy eyes, looks unwashed, dirty hair. He's the stinky bum.
Oppositional forces are balanced, and there's a perfection to the balance. There's
not a perfection to it. You're making up stupid shit. You don't make sense. I gave an example last night of the party crashers, demons ruining a party. They don't balance it. They ruin it. They ruin it, dummy. They ruin it. You're delusional.
There's a perfection to the light.
There is not a perfection.
As is the dark.
There's not a perfection here in this realm. There is not a perfection. You're spewing nonsense. You're spewing bullshit.
And here's the thing, too.
Your butt is hurt.
By God's grace, that's how the devil works.
Wash your ass.
Works, right?
And I'm glad that you mentioned that as well, because I am coming. You and I have actually spoken about this a little bit, but I've come to the understanding that the stinky bum entity. As crazy as that may sound.
Oppositional forces are balanced, and there's a perfection to the balance. There's a perfection to the light, as is the dark.
No, there isn't.
And here's the thing, too. I was trying to find the right words to it earlier, but there is a perfection to the light and the dark. Both can be blinding. We can get lost in the dark. We can get blinded by the light. We can get confused either way. There's answers and experiences, though, that will be uniquely revealed through the light, through the right light. Different things are revealed. And then through right shadows, you find different perspectives and depths. And even in the darkness, there's the potential for the infinite to come forth. There's wisdom, even from the darkness. And this is the key. We shouldn't be afraid of the light or the dark. We shouldn't be afraid of the wisdom to be found. We should be grown enough, mature enough, wise enough to be responsible with who we are, who we're becoming. Because truly, it's by the grace of God. It's the Spirit of God who moves us, whether we realize it or not, whether we align with God's will for us or not. You can know what God's will for you is based on the truth, the evidence. What are we showing? Are we showing, oops, where'd it go? Yeah, the fruit of the Spirit. Are we sharing forth the goodness of the Spirit of life that is here for us to be joyful, peaceful, patient, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control, loyal, right? Those are the divine forces that really make a man shine, make a woman shine. I've been learning the value of kindness and compassion. I found I've been kind of selfish with it because I felt it absent from myself. But here's what I realized. We're all in this together. And if I want more compassion in the world, well, I've got to be prepared to share more compassion. And if you're not going to, how are you going to share compassion if you don't experience some pain, some depths of pain? Life is a beautiful gift, guys. So what if life can bring forth these opportunities to help a man like me? Yeah. What if life can bring forth opportunities to help a man like me, educated from many different ways, from the U.S. military to organized labor to federal employment, right? The legal system, the law system of labor and employment and safety. Those things are like in my blood. My mother works in that field too. So, and then plus discovering other veterans, men and women like me. These I've met personally heroes, stories of men and women who stood in the face, right? Said, no, I will not. You will not get me to comply. And some of these men and women, they were punished and retaliated against. There's true heroes alive today, brothers and sisters, standing up against the atrocities of war. Join me. In the video description of every stream is links to Veterans for Peace, other organizations, men and women who share their time, their attention, their life force energy, in addition to their families, in addition to whatever they're doing. Some of these people just support it in addition. So investigate what other people are doing in addition to the things you don't like. Investigate and share support to those people who are bringing forth answers and solutions to the people and the things you care about. If you're not able to immediately share support with ending this problem of someone else, find a way to support others who are supporting that. There's easy ways for us to share and to grow this world into greater adventures. I got a little preachy. It's Saturday. I'm feeling joyous celebrations are awaiting mankind as soon as we unite together. It's that simple.
I'm feeling sick. I've been listening to you too much. I gotta go. I'm gonna go lay on my pillow that I just painted last night. My gay little throw pillow by King Stephen.
Well, have fun.
More comfort is found beyond the bitterness. That's what I found for myself.
I think he's homeless. He wishes he had a place to stay. I think he's kind of homeless, and I feel sorry for him. I don't really. I'm not going to be mean spirited towards JG. I just kind of feel sorry for him, the place he's in or what he's going through.
He's living an adventure, and he's like many of us in his own way. He's making his life a little more difficult than it needs to be. He's probably denied himself opportunities, distrust or reasons. We tell ourselves these stories, and I've seen it. I've witnessed it. I've tried intervening and helping people see it for themselves, but until people are ready, they're not going to change. It's
Yeah,
remarkable.
that's true.
It's remarkable.
Well, many of us, we come on here for many different reasons. Like, there's a lot of people that come to you for different, perspectives about several different things, Jack. I'm not a vet. I support veterans, but I'm not a vet. You know what I mean? I come more as far as the family structure, because I didn't have that growing up. You know what I mean? And no, I don't need a mom and a dad. I'm just saying that in my perspective, I was deprived of that. So I look for
Are
that.
you looking to be adopted?
No, not really. I'm just looking
Okay.
to be a better person, I guess.
Hey, not to.
Hey, Steven, I like my life, man. I'm one of the few around that actually likes his life.
Well, I'm
I
glad
think
you're trying to
does.
convince
Yeah.
yourself of that.
No, I'm sure he's got a lot of reasons to enjoy it too.
No, he's kind of bitter. I think you were spot on. He's got bitterness.
Both are true. He does carry bitterness, but I'm sure he's living a pretty cool life. I've seen little bits and pieces. So
I'm not even trying to have a cool life. I just figured out how I really like to live.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here, sorry to interrupt, but that's perfect. Okay, so now the next step is, how do you create the perfect life? Now that you're figuring out how do you like to live, how do you maximize that and grow it?
He's looking for
Share
his
it.
next garbage can to eat out of. So
That's not accurate. No, let's not paint
Oscar
that.
the Grouch. Oscar the Grouch.
Stephen. Oh, Stephen. You're showing so much.
JG, come on.
You're showing, Stephen. Don't be confused. Money's not more important
No,
than
I'm not confused, Jack.
you are.
Do you think that Trump and Netanyahu might be lizards?
I don't
Do you
think
think they
I don't
could be
believe
reptilian?
that. Not
Do you
Trump.
think? Well, do you think Trump was helped out by the Zio bankers when he was bankrupt? Do you
Yes.
think they kept him going?
Yes,
Okay.
he's been greatly influenced by outside political and economic forces, which should raise questions as far as his loyalty in office. But in this
Yes.
age of deception and accusation, people are just all confused.
Do you think he should be investigated for that? Like, would you ask him questions about his Zio banker connections?
I'd point out to him what is clear and obvious to many of us. And I would also let him see how sick what Netanyahu is actually doing, what is actually happening. I'd let him see what is truly being supported and what he's claiming to be aligned with. Because I don't think he wants to be aligned with what he thinks he wants. He's been advised and he's allowed himself to be misled, and to be deceived. You can see it in how he presents himself. Him and the other talking heads on the news, it's a bunch of insanity. Someone's got to intervene in his life. And I think, praise God, if not me, let's find someone better than me and let's give them support to do this. But it's time for the world to awaken. Selfishness is not to be enabled and glorified. It's other
Praise
people.
Lucifer.
What's that?
Praise God. Do you think Trump should help out the homeless more? There's a lot of homeless in America these days, way more than 5-10 years ago. It seems like since 2020, there's been an explosion of homeless bums out there, tent cities. Do you think Trump should help these? Do
So
more to help
now
them?
he's getting to the facts. All right. Do you understand that we support the guy that you just mentioned? And do you also understand that we provide humanitarian aid to the people that are starving in Gaza? Did you
Who are
know
you
that?
talking about?
Oh, I'm talking about, do you understand how we help both sides of somebody else's situation?
Huh?
We support Israel because that's what we're supposed to do.
I don't support Israel. What are you
And
talking
that's
about?
where, and they say that it's supported by the Bible, when in fact, at the same time, they tried to have the New Testament removed because it mentions who the actual synagogue of Satan is. But what I'm getting to is, if we support this side, why do we provide humanitarian aid to the other side? That kind of pretty much sums it up. Go ahead. I'm just speaking.
Goblin, if you focus in with your microscope, right? If you really focus in, you'll see that we are Israel.
I get it.
Are you two guys in love?
I think you would like to see that, Steven. You're always talking about
No.
stuff.
No, you talked about that.
Goblin,
On
I
another
think
show.
I think he wants to see us hug, Goblin.
Well, hit that cash app.
Hey, sorry for, well, I'm honest. I kind of tuned you out for a moment. This
Me
comment,
too.
this comment
Yeah,
from
me
earlier, war is a racket. This, I tell you what, I had
Smedley.
never learned these things, but this is so important in American history. People should look it up if you haven't found it yet. War is a Racket is a speech in a 1935 short book by Smedley D. Butler, a retired United States Marine Corps Major General and two-time Medal of Honor recipient. He was a man of honor in combat and out of combat. He was allegedly recruited for some ugly things, and he stood up for a voice of reason, and he pointed out a long time ago, war is a racket. It's a criminal enterprise that taxpayers have been unwittingly going along to get along and paying for the oppression and destruction, the true spread of evil.
Smedley. Almost nobody's named Smedley anymore.
Yeah.
That's a rare name.
You know, next time maybe I'll name my kid Smedley. In honor, man. In honor. Because,
Yeah, Smedley. Oh, that's a cool name. I like that name.
The more
Yeah.
I hear about these types of scenarios, though, the more and more that I understand why you have the specific goals and objectives that you have, Jack, wanting to end wars and stop legal secrets and things of this matter, because it really is a passionate walk. And for some reason, the creator chooses to set specific people aside. I just wanted to share that.
Is that a satanic hat you have on, that horns hat? What was that?
No, that's the bow.
But that's
doubles. It's doubles. Wasn't that a Saturday Night Live thing?
Yeah.
Chicago Bulls. Yeah. You know, this is the life we're living. There's sports and all these different traditions and stuff. I remember men and women, they're so caught up in all the statistics of every player, current and past players of different teams and different, I'm like, holy shit. And then different musician knowledge. It's like, dude, okay, that's a lot of stuff to know. Women, they're so caught up in all the statistics of every player, current and past players of different teams and different. I'm like, holy shit. And then different musician knowledge. It's like, dude, okay, that's a lot of stuff to know.
Jack,
Yeah,
it's going to kick me out. It's going to kick me out. I got an update coming in and it won't let me stop, man. Have a good day. I'll catch up with you.
Much love, Goblin. Peace. Here, I'll toss you then. Oh, you're gone. Oh, but that kind of reminds me earlier too, this thought. The way I found myself able to love other people is to love the truth. Because if you love the truth, you realize everything we learn, it comes from other people. If we don't experience it, it's taught and learned from someone else. Welcome, Zatoichi.
Hello.
Hey, Zatoichi.
What's happening?
I'm truly feeling good today. I was awoken last night with these ideas, right? I've said before, the messages are pretty simple when you stop and think about it. Awaken each day, caught in the past, caught in the divisions and blah, 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 or look forward. And if you look forward hard enough and with enough faith, then you start anticipating joyous celebrations. And in my life, truly, the life Jack Talcott is living, this story, man, is filled with a whole bunch of different characters. They're amazing and unique and different in different ways. Got a few of them here right now. But I'm set with whatever God brings forth. It's going to be amazing. And I truly trust when I succeed, the world will be joining me with joyous celebrations.
You read the book of Job, right? You read the book of Job. You know that story?
Yes.
I'm living it, dude.
Are you going to feel that way when things aren't feeling so good? You know, are you going
to? I'm living it, dude. God has just spared me the extent of what Job went through. Mine hasn't required the actual physical death and such, the disease. God's allowed me to be healthy and comfortable, but I lost my family, my life savings, everything I worked my whole life was gone.
Didn't God give Job boils or something on the skin, like boils, and was betting with the devil that Job would not turn on him? I remember that story.
That's supposed to be the story, you know. But the thing is, you know, it's easy to be supportive of God or fate or whatever you want to call it when it's going your way. That's all I'm saying.
Satoichi, you make a good point. Last night I woke up from a nightmare.
You're so confused.
And I was poor in the nightmare, and I had nothing, and I was living in Israel, and I was like, for some reason I was in Israel, and I was like, I don't want to be here at all. I don't like this country. I don't want to be poor. I don't want to live here. I hate this place, and I ran away. But it was a nightmare with there.
Stephen,
yeah, go ahead.
Do you still have those nightmares? You're having sex with a woman? Is that still occurring?
No, I love having sex with women. It's you that doesn't do that. You're a bum. You're homeless.
I stopped having sex with women.
It's a nightmare to be like you. I don't want to live like that.
Well, no,
I hear a train in the background. You got a train to hop? That was the train. I heard a train.
You had a nightmare. You're having sex with women.
Did you hear that train? I've got a girlfriend, dummy. You're gay. You're obsessed. Yeah, I do. I hear a train in the background. You got to hop that train.
You don't have a girlfriend.
Yeah, I do. Absolutely. I've had many girlfriends. Yeah, I do. You're a liar.
That's
Are you guys achieving great things?
He's just here to harass. He's a
I didn't ask that.
Loser.
I didn't ask that. You're engaging with it.
Okay. I'd rather engage with Zatoichi. He's pretty cool, but this
Okay.
JG
Well,
guy's
right. You found distraction, and
no, not distraction.
no, it wasn't distraction. You want to
I didn't find distraction. I defended myself. You fucking loser.
argue with me now?
Well, I have a question, and this is something that I've been thinking about for like 2 days now. If everything that happens is God's will because it's supported by the hand of God, nothing exists without the hand of God, right? Without his support.
Look at him move his neck around. Does anybody wonder why his son doesn't want to deal with him? Does anyone wonder why his son doesn't want to deal with him? Does anyone wonder that?
Great things.
He's just here to harass. He's a
I didn't ask
homeless
that.
loser.
I didn't ask that. You're engaging with it.
Okay. I'd rather engage with Zatoichi. He's pretty cool, but this
Okay.
JG
Well,
guy's
right. You found distraction, and
no, not distraction.
no, it wasn't distraction. You want to argue with me now?
Well, I have a question, and this is something that I've been thinking about for like 2 days now. If everything that happens is God's will because it's supported by the hand of God, nothing exists without the hand of God, right? Without his support. Then when we question the behavior of human beings, are we not questioning God himself and saying, well, I think I know better than God because I think that, we should end wars and this and that, but maybe that's not the plan. Maybe that's not God's will.
Believe what you want. You're clearly not understanding me.
Right. No, I do understand. It's just that I also understand the other side.
Zatoichi, instead of trying to prove yourself right,
I'm
can
not.
you allow me to explain what I'm seeing?
I'm not trying to prove myself right. I don't know anything. That's the whole fucking point, is that I don't know anything. I don't know the mind of God. I don't even know what the hell's going to happen tomorrow. You see? So I don't have the power to stop wars just because I feel like that's something I should do. You've only been on this earth for a very short time.
What?
You'll only be here for a little while longer. And what do you think your importance is that you're going to go and stop fucking wars and change the world?
Hello. You're clearly triggered and moved. Can you chill the fuck out?
Yeah, I'm fine. Don't worry about it.
Are you sure? No, I need to worry about it because you won't shut the fuck up.
Oh, okay.
Accept the reality, dude. Okay,
Yeah.
your beliefs are yours. Now, I tried to point out that you brought things up about the story of Job. You're making assumptions about me, claiming that you know one thing or another and all of this. So chill out.
That's not what I said, but I said, would you still be so enthusiastic? I didn't say that you wouldn't be. I said, would you be?
Would you see? You're not trying to understand me again.
You're not trying to understand me, maybe.
I do understand you, but your thoughts are not helpful right now.
My thoughts come from God.
So you think, but what you're showing is an interruptive pattern which is preventing you from better understanding me. Now, I know you like to focus on you around me, but...
Oh, really? Are you calling me an egomaniac? Because that's the wrong thing to describe me as.
Hey, Zatoichi, here. Back to what I was trying to offer regarding the relevance of the story of Job. Here's a distinction between way back when and my current life. I didn't have a relationship with God when I lost everything. Okay? I found my strength through humbling myself to Christ in my life and inviting God to be real in my life. So Zatoichi, please. Hey, welcome, God is real. How are you, brother?
Jack, every day is a struggle, my friend.
Who's
trying
this
to
guy?
convince people, that love is the language,
Love.
regardless of our home, regardless of where we come from. Love is the language. And Jack, I try to stay in the chat, and I see all these people. They come at you, Jack. It's like the fallen angels.
No.
You look at Los Angeles now,
No.
Jack. I had to evacuate where I live in Calabasas. I had to
No.
evacuate. But from the
God's
Palisades to Calabasas, we are all running from
God's
the
plan.
fires. Jack, I just
It's God's plan. It's God's plan. God's plan.
don't get it, man. I just don't get it. When I first met you, I was like, this guy, he's lost his mind. We go to Congress, we go to legislative branch, we go to executive branch. Where do we go to get this to work? But now I get it, Jack. I get it, Jack. I fucking get it.
Are you homeless?
I love you. Yeah.
Not necessarily. I have many family members that are offering me sanctuary right now. Hopefully insurance will come through and I get a new home. I probably won't repurchase in California at this point. But the point I'm trying to make is, as a society, no. As a society, if we don't listen to people like Jack and just figure this shit out and stop participating in this demonic system, nothing is ever going to change. Okay?
Listen to Jack.
And whoever just fucking said, if I'm liberal, listen, buddy, I voted for Trump 3 times. 3 times.
Vote harder.
Okay?
Vote harder.
He only ran twice.
There you go. Well, no, he ran 3 times, you dumb cunt. He ran 3 times. He lost the second time, he won the first time, and he won the third time.
Did you call
I'm
him
sorry.
a dumb
I'm
cunt?
sorry,
That's
Jack.
not godly.
Jack, sometimes
That's
I
not
just gotta
godly.
show up. Jack, sometimes I just gotta show up and
You call
check
him a
these
dumb cunt.
internet clowns. Because that's
Dumb
all they
cunt
are,
is the
Jack.
voice you
They're
look at.
internet clowns. And like
you're
you,
smarter than all of us.
Jack, like you're a legend of YouTube. You're a saint that deserves to be in the biblical days, just like my brother, the Machine Lies. You guys see the world in a way these people could never fathom. Never.
Yeah,
And
you
my
know why?
house is-
Because it's delusional. That's why you fucking.
My house is burning. Hey, listen, cocksucker, my house is burning down, and you couldn't afford my house if your whole family tried.
Well, good. I hope your insurance covers it.
Where do you live? Where do you live?
I live right next door to you, asshole.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Because if you did, you would understand the trifle I'm going through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, you called me a cunt, so excuse me for being a little aggressive.
Well, I'm sorry. In England, that's a very common term. Cunt is like calling somebody dude.
Well, I call you a fucking asshole. It's a common term in America. So
No. We're dragging into another place here. What I'm talking about is the fact that Los Angeles, the city of angels, and the only angels on earth are the fallen angels. If you read the religious manuscripts and don't just mouth off like all these people I see do, Jack. If you actually do the research, you see that LA is burning for a reason. And it's burning because it's the devil's home. And I will tell you this now before I leave. Jack Talcott is the voice of reason. And an atheist like Flow State are the voice of reason. We all need to unite and try to find a common purpose. And when you guys come after Jack for giving you that momentum, for giving you that revolutionary projection, you guys drive me crazy, man. Because none of you are making it like I am. None of you did what I did. None of you are surely as rich as I am. So if we're talking about materialism and success in the material world, you got a lot of catching up to do. But if we're talking about God, Jack Talcott is a leader in the YouTube panelverse. Check yourselves. Jesus Christ is King. I love you, Jack. I'm out.
Holy cows, brother. I am truly humbled by that.
That guy's not insane at all. Not one bit.
You know what? He sees what he sees, and that was his heart speaking forth. Congratulations to you, brother. And seriousness, I was trying to imagine him, his family, other neighbors, people they work, they associate with, people they care about in this lifetime. all of a sudden, just poof, everything they own, everything they security, everything they've invested and worked hard for, it's poof. And, you know, it wasn't that long ago. It's still in Florida. And where was it? The Carolinas. There was the other disasters and floods. And here's the fires. And more men and women, all of us, children of God, truly sent here to live the life we're living. Let's accept the past is no longer good enough, right? We can bring forth the healing. We can start working together. If men and women weren't so slave to jobs and routines, we'd have ways of better organizing the communities, right? Get all the healthy young men out and women bringing right the, well, we'd plan a lot better. There's a lot of suffering in this world that can be overcome as soon as men and women today, you and me and others like us, when we start uniting together, we'll create reasons for joyous celebrations for a long time in the future, because doing good today creates ripples throughout, it echoes through the halls of time. What we say, especially if it's not true, it'll fade away. It's powerless. But I like to believe we are true. Welcome back. I put you the guys to the back because you kept interrupting for some reasons.
Mhm.
I just wanted. I was defending Zatoichi because that guy was being a fat, loudmouth asshole. The guy in Los Angeles. I agree with Zatoichi what he said about that character was on here, loudmouth and yelling, and Zatoichi was right. I think he made a good point.
Well, here's the thing. His point that he was making is how rich he is and how blessed he is with material goods. What is that in the eyes of God? Does God look at you and say, "Oh, nice watch"? You know, like, I'm going to put you in heaven because you made money in life. You know, get the fuck out of here. Talk about being delusional.
Dude, you're
right.
You're reacting to arguments you imagined. He did not say those things.
Oh, he didn't. He didn't. He didn't say that he was wealthy and that none of us will ever make as much money as he made. He didn't say that.
You heard what you wanted to hear.
No, you heard what you wanted to hear, Talcott. That's the problem.
Hello, when you shut up.
I'm richer than that guy, and I don't talk that way. I'm not that brash,
Stephen. Yeah. Delusions of grandeur are delusions.
No, Jack, you have delusions of grandeur, dude.
You think you're the guy that's going to stop wars?
You think you're Jesus, Jack?
You can't even stop us from arguing on this.
Oh, man.
Oops, wrong way. Yeah, see, this is how foolish and ignorant you both are. You only have relevance to my.
Hold on a second, everyone. See this guy with the teeth and the big nose and the sunglasses and the tiny head? See this guy that's calling himself King Kook? I recognized him. I spotted him. It's Showtime from Beetlejuice. Remember this guy? Here he is. Here he is right here. He's the guy from Beetlejuice. That's the tiny head from Beetlejuice. And they sprinkled Beetlejuice. Remember him? He's the tiny head from Beetlejuice. Look at him. Just look at him. That's him. That's him. That's the tiny head from Beetlejuice. Do you remember that movie with the tiny head character? The shrunken head. That's him. I caught him. I found him. That's him. It's him. 100%. It's him. Jesus. Look at that's why he has to have the sunglasses on, because his eyes pop out like that. He's got the same face. And he's always got his teeth out like that. That's him. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. It's showtime. And here we go. Look at this. And there he is. He's a loser. He's a loser. He's a loser. He's a loser. Two losers on the screen. Look at his teeth here. Look at him. Just look at him. Look at this. Look at these two freaks. Could Twatcot's head get any longer? Look at this. Oh, man.
To my day because I allow
Two
you
freaks.
in my presence, but I
Look at
don't
the teeth, the buck teeth on this one.
want you. You've been worthless, Zatoichi. Delusion.
You called him worthless. This is supposed to be a man of God calling people worthless? Wow.
Oops. Wrong one.
And that none of us will ever make
Zatoichi.
you in heaven because you made money in life. You know, get the fuck out of here. Talk about being delusional.
Dude, you're
right.
You're reacting to arguments you imagined. He did not say those things.
Oh,
You
he didn't.
thought
He
those.
didn't. He didn't say that he was wealthy and that none of us will ever make as
Zatoichi.
much money as he made. He didn't say that.
Well, you heard what you wanted to hear.
No,
That's-
you heard what you wanted to
say
hear, Talcott. That's the problem.
Hello, when you shut up
I'm richer
and
than that
listen,
guy, and I don't talk
you
that
would have
way.
heard me.
I'm not that brash.
Stephen. Yeah. Delusions of grandeur are delusions.
No, Jack, you have delusions of grandeur, dude.
You think you're the guy that's going to stop wars?
You
For
think
fuck's
you're
sake.
Jesus, Jack.
You can't even stop us from arguing on this.
Oh, man.
Oops. Wrong way. Yeah, see, this is how foolish and ignorant you both are. You only have
They're the stinky bums. They're the freak show. The one's a homeless bum on the right. He hops trains and he has his teeth hanging out all the time. He's showing those buck teeth. Look at him. Just look at him. I'm going to put the meme up again. Take a look at this. Here he is. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. He's that shrunken headed guy. That's him. That's him. That's him. He's from Beetlejuice.
only have relevance to my day because I allow you in my presence, but I don't want you. You've been worthless, Zatoichi.
Called him worthless. He doesn't want him in his presence. Listen to the way he talks. He's an egomaniac. Delusions of grandeur. You're a loser. The two on the screen, they're both losers.
Delusions of Stephen. King Kook.
Yeah, you're having cognitive dissonance right here, Jay.
I am?
Yeah.
Which part?
Well, that weirdo just said all that shit. He did say that, and you're saying, oh, you're having delusions. The other people are having delusions. I don't think you realize you can't accept that that guy just said what he said, and then you're going to say people are having delusions on what he said.
Do you know what you're accomplishing? Do you know what you're doing?
Yes,
I don't-
I'm zooming in with the microscope, and I'm looking right at you, and I'm understanding you like how you claim you understand Trump.
Fascinating. Banana?
Hey, what's up, buddy? How are you doing today? I wasn't watching the show, so I just am coming in just brand new. Wasn't watching, so I don't know what's going on.
Thank you. I appreciate that, admission, letting me know. I do encourage you sincerely, go back and check some of my early monologues, even speed it up so it makes more sense. And at some point, because I really do explain myself quite a bit more than after the panel opens.
You're so your message gets across very good. Like when you start, you're happy, you're full of joy. But once you're in an environment where people are going to challenge any of your views, then it gets a bit of a issue. And I believe your message is best spread when you're alone, because then there's nobody to ask questions or try to wonder anything. It because that takes away from the message. If you were giving a presentation, you would save all the questions for the end, right? I mean,
Yeah. Banana's got his stories. And this is what I realized. Part of my purpose, my path in life, we're all like each other to varying degrees. We will be challenged, right? Particularly if you make bold claims that you're all about love and God and forgiveness. Well, guess what? Plenty of fools will want to prove that you're not. They'll want to prove that you're more like them than Christ. And so this is one of the things I encourage, right? Let's stop being more like you and me,
mm-hmm.
and let's work towards being more like Jesus, like he would be.
Yeah, that's the goal, man.
Right.
Right. So try to be like a hypothesis. That's where you're getting at.
Yeah, I'm confused about that. Explain.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you're doing.
I should try to be like Harry Potter.
No.
Right. That would be insane.
No, just allow perfection.
Back.
Allow perfection to be with you. Eternally in the present. Here, humbly awaiting the guidance from God, from Jesus, from love. Whatever good expressions, whatever joyous celebrations can be achieved and shared through each of us, that's how we're supposed to be. It's how we're designed to be. It's how our health will heal. It's how our bodies will rejuvenate. When we create the natural state of harmony within our inner state of energies, the chemicals, the life is incredible. We're here to celebrate life and each day. And truly, if we work together, we could actually help each other push through, overcome different problems, different obstacles towards creating better lives for ourselves. When men and women come together for the purpose of greatness, greatness is right there, man. It's there to be found.
So that's what you really mean. But you said to be like Jesus.
Perfection.
What the fuck?
When I think of being like Jesus, I mean more like his actions of just being a very good, lighthearted person going around and just spreading, if anything, be like, hey, you better love God or, else, kind of do. I mean, but very, very just preaching the word of God. I think Jesus even, I think when he was he started a ministry, didn't he? I think he did. Right at the end, for a few years, I believe. I might be wrong about that. I know he was going to. I don't know if he died first or if he did run it for a few years, but he definitely did, and so, I mean, I don't know. That's how he lived. Preaching, talking about God.
He was a perfect example for us to learn from, to receive inspiration from, to create ourselves into becoming like. The key to being like Jesus is to be grateful. Grateful to God. Praise God. All things, large and small, praise God often, sincerely, with your heart, and filled with intentions of love, of knowing God. of becoming one with God, one with Christ, to feel and walk with the perfected love. That's how he was perfected. He was perfected with love and truth. We can become honest. We can become forgiving. We can become generous. We can become more love filled when we allow ourselves. God allows goodness. It's the corrupted mind, the antichrist, the beast of selfishness, insecurities, the past trauma and memories of trauma. They become excuses that people believe in. And then the next generation sends their children off to wars as well. And the fairy tales of the American dream continue to be conditioned into the minds of the insane and the confused. But praise God! Sincerely, God created the day. God created this guy. And you know what? I'm going to bring it back to me again because I've been going on anyway. Praise God. God created me, my education from the military, from organized labor, studying American history, which includes labor history, which includes Black history, American history and Black history. There's no separation there. I mean, that's where the current economic conditions were just built upon the backs of slavery, whether colored or Mexican or whatever flavor, whatever gender, mankind has been taken advantage of and exploiting others for too long. We got to wake up to what is real. And what is real, brothers and sisters? Love is real. Love is real for you, for me, until it's been denied. Who denies love? Those who feel shame, those who feel regret, those who want to feel unworthy. Why would someone want to feel unworthy? Well, they want to wear the badge of honor of being a victim. See, a victim can blame others for how they feel, and hurt people like to hurt people. And victims, they disguise themselves as victims and they play the roles as perpetrators. Perpetrators are real boastful, and the boastful, they're very.
He's projecting, he's boastful, but also he plays the victim. So he believes that anyone who is actually victimized is playing the victim the way he has his whole life. He likes to play the victim. So in his warped mind, he assumes that others do that. Jack, you like to play the victim. That's you.
Very manipulative.
That's you.
Donald Trump
You're,
is in my mind as I'm describing
yeah,
a lot
I
of
bet.
this.
You should be on your mind.
Unworthy. Why would someone want to feel unworthy? Well, they want to wear the badge of honor of being a victim. See, a victim can blame others for how they feel, and hurt people like to hurt people. And victims, they disguise themselves as victims and they play the roles as perpetrators. Perpetrators are real boastful, and the boastful, they're very manipulative. Donald Trump is in my mind as I'm describing a lot of this.
Jack's a stinky bum. He's a stinky bum.
Brothers and sisters, this world we live in, I don't claim to know what the future's going to bring. But I know that my heart within me is the heart of an activist, kind of a radical in my own different ways, but a radical of peace, peaceful reform.
Do you trust radicals? What have radicals done in the United States? Do you trust radicals, whether they're radical Marxists, radical liberals, radical feminists? Do you trust radicals? Do you trust radicals?
Reform, right? Strong reforms, radical reforms, transformations of what was into what could never be. because we never know what could be until we try. Yeah, I'll bring it back so it's not just all about me. What are you guys feeling? I feel good, man.
Yeah, I feel good today too, besides my fever. I got a bit of a fever I've been dealing with, but it's going around. But personally, I feel good. Yeah, life is good. Everything's good. Family is healthy besides the fever. So, nothing to complain about. I have a home. I got food. I got my favorite food getting cooked today by my mother. So,
So there you go. There you go. Life is good because he has a home and food. That's all they care about. That's all these creatures care about.
life is good.
You truly are blessed.
But personally, I feel good. Yeah, life is good. Everything's good. Family is healthy besides the fever. So, nothing to complain about. I have a home. I got food. I got my favorite food getting cooked today by my mother. So, life is good.
All about me. What are you guys feeling? I feel good, man.
Yeah, I feel good today too, besides my fever. I got a bit of a fever I've been dealing with, but it's going around. But personally, I feel good. Yeah, life is good. Everything's good. Family is healthy besides the fever. So, nothing to complain about. I have a home. I got food. I got my favorite food getting cooked today by my mother. So, life is good.
You truly are blessed.
What about you, King Nook? You look like you're blessing the front of a store right now.
I get away from all the kooks like you. I get away from them. I keep to myself. That's what I do.
Yeah, that works too. You gotta stay away from us. We'll get you. We'll brainwash you.
Now you kill the morale. You people like you kill my fucking morale, so I get
Yeah,
away
that's
from
my
you.
bad. I'm messing around. I can tell it's making Jack mad. We'll quit Jack. Back on focus. Back on focus. See, I get like once I don't got nothing to go with, I just start messing with people that I think are dumb, like King Nook. That's a bad habit. It's my bad.
You think I'm dumb, but I can see you're a fucking dumbass.
Well, that's just because you're smarter than me.
Hey, thank you for that. Good job on that awareness. Because that is the key, is recognizing when we can do things that aren't actually real helpful or appreciated. And I think you're doing that. We're all learning and growing together. And I noticed I can be kind of rude to people. I can come across, especially, I'm easily perceived as being very rude to some people. But I tell you what,
Chuck. I'm just kidding. But
yeah,
Chuck, it's hard not to. It's so easy to
oh,
get know, right?
he's so annoying, dude. He's just relentless.
Oh,
But
I think the thing is, you guys have a similar, well, one similar thing in your backstory, and he just keeps bringing it up. I guess that drives you crazy. But I find it funny. Like, I find the humor in it. Like, I just see two older people arguing about something silly, and I find the humor in it.
Banana, your grilled cheese is ready, banana.
It's an
hey,
enchilada burrito, baby.
hold on here for just a second, because thank you for keeping things positive in the chat. Caught fail, you're funny, not funny, but it's true, not true. I would actually welcome a visit from Paul, not for the numbers, but that would probably help. Uh, I actually think when Paul and I figure out when he learns how to get along with me, which I'm not that hard to get along with, when he stops being so bitter towards me and we get along, dude, there's going to be a lot of people celebrating, because Paul and I, we can have fun together. That's been proven.
We can all have fun together. We've all proven that, but we all like to argue too. Like me and King Crook or King Cook. We don't know shit about each other. We're just arguing because it's fun. That's just what fuckheads like us like to do.
Nah,
Right.
don't talk to me, man. I can see you're a fucking weirdo weasel. Like,
I know you can see
Well-
everything through those glasses.
Both things are true. Both things are true, but I'm actually encouraging you because I have this habit too. It's fun to argue. It's fun to get into debates, but it's real easy to lose track of what's important. And what's important is, despite the opinions, we're all pretty good human beings. JG is King Kook, Banana, Ham Banana. Even Stephen and Paul and even Snafu, Tommy. There's so many characters that God has created. We're all in this together.
Yeah, that's true. It's been a struggle for me the last 3-4 weeks. My daughter had to go to the ER like 3 times just for flu stuff, but it was like croup or whatever.
yeah, I gotta
So
correct
like
you.
life has
King
been
Cruise, King
rough
Steven.
and scary for me recently. Like I got a good perspective on my time and everything I'm doing. And then I looked into some gematria stuff too, and I keep getting a lot of very good gematria angel numbers, which, you know, is a good sign. Got like 4 of them in the last 4 days. I looked up my name, Angel Borrego, and it's actually 347. That's why I put that little 347 down there. This gematria 347.
I don't know what questions to ask you. I don't know what to offer you either.
I got a question for you guys. What is the origin of life?
The Anunnaki.
It's unknowable, and yet it's undeniable. It's from the divine, the aspects of knowing through the consciousness of awareness. So through the consciousness and awareness of truth, we know, right? The old adage, I think I am, therefore I am. Well, not necessarily. It just shows that you think or that you observe a thought. You think a thought about your reality, about your significance. But just because we think thoughts doesn't necessarily mean that we matter. So beyond the truth is the expression of love, of life, which it truly is. It's the manifestation of love, the energies of unification and cooperation, the energies of multiplication and replication, yet uniqueness and novelty. It's perfect. In some ways, I think this is true. We are genetically modified monkeys, the Anunnaki, right? The Nephilim, whatever. Way before we were born, there was adaptations, and then there's evolutions in history. There's evidence in history, archaeology and such, that shows rapid transformation and development. But then there's also signs and stories of Atlantis, past civilizations that were more advanced, more in tune with natural energies and such, more in tune with nature than before.
They had something called 0.0 point energy, I believe. It's something where they basically can harness the energies that's just in the air and use that to like power whatever.
Dude, there's energies.
Yeah,
What's
like
that?
the crazy thing is, like, remember when I was playing with the little toy with the magnets and the spinning wheel and I would spin in, the light would turn on? Like there's literally like electricity in the air and in the wires and everything,
Testing,
right?
1, 2.
So electricity has been free, and the government's just not like using that. They've just been charging it like a company. They've been using that like that's their product, electricity, and they're like, if we stop selling the electricity because they could get it for free, it's just something that they should have did a long time ago. And it's crazy that, I mean, you know, we're going to realize in like a year or so that electricity has always been free. We've just been paying for it because we're idiots.
That's what I want to help the world realize. Because there's many organizations working towards that end. There's people working towards the courts and all sorts of things, working to advance disclosure, right? Bringing out some of the deep state, the military industrial complex, whatever names you want to assign this stuff. It's a criminal enterprise. There's criminal activity that's being shown and protected. It's called governments and economics. It's a bunch of bullshit that was imagined and believed in, but we are the
Yeah, we are the future, really. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones that make a better place. So let's start giving. Douchebags smell together. They're stinking up the world. Get rid of the smelly bums. We'll have a better day for you and me. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones to see the freaky fags on YouTube. Let's stop giving. Stop giving to these freaks, these smelly bums. They got the stinky bums. They got the stinky bums. They got the stinky bums. What a bunch of weirdos. What a bunch of weirdos they are. Total weirdos. Losers with no sense of humor, no brains, no charm, no charisma. They don't have it. They're not kings. They're homeless, stinky bums. They got the stinky bums. They're living in barns, these fucking creatures. Where are we here?
by somebody, not you.
Whoa,
You know what I'm saying?
What?
Feeding the industrial military complex, the monetary system, you know, this whole fucking thing, that's exactly what this was all encapsulated in that one event, plus many, many more. But wait, there's more. But to go through it would be like a whole show. There's so many different facets to it. And so they never do it for just one purpose altogether. It's usually covering several little bases all at once. And I think one of those is, since things have been getting really fucking hot, I think that this is also destruction of evidence.
Mm-hmm.
The Getty burning up. And we've all heard about the tunnels under the Getty, right? I mean, this...
Well, it's funny you bring that up, because like in Lahaina, I call this Lahaina 2.0. That's because that's what it is. But in Lahaina, all the wealthy people whose homes, they didn't want to burn down, they had their roofs painted blue. But in this instance, they just wholesale burned them all down. That's unusual.
Let me just say real quick, I was flying into Bogota, Colombia, which I've flown into quite a bit. And I was flying in 6 months ago. The roofs were blue near the flower factories. So go on, sorry, but totally. And they weren't blue before.
So yeah, so they painted all the roofs blue down there. Missed Oprah, missed The Rock, missed all these people down in Hawaii. Oprah had invested in real estate deals before the fire even happened. All sorts of stuff, right? Well, here they wholesale burnt everything down, and that doesn't fit their their mold. You know, it doesn't jive with what they've been doing, and that the explanation, I think, a reasonable explanation would be covering up evidence. You know, because they did a lot of that with, you know, there was a school bus went missing and in Lahaina under all the smoke and all that stuff. Like, so same thing, moving all the, you know, the chattel, if you will, somewhere else without getting the channel struck. That would be a good explanation. Yeah, this right here, what I had pulled up, Dad, is this DEI hire, fire chief chick. But it's funny, you'll notice something in her little biography. I don't know if you guys can read it very well. I'll try to zoom in on it if it.
That's a woman?
It's not gonna... that is.
I'm sorry,
Steven. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she is stunning and brave.
I was just surprised.
She's stunning and brave.
Wow.
Okay, stunning and brave. Don't need no man's, woman's, right here. And it says creating, supporting, and promoting a culture that values diversity, inclusion, and equity. Think about it. It's always diversity, equity, inclusion. It's just a little tidbit, and it doesn't necessarily mean anything, but they always say DEI. Well, this literally says die. If you were to make that into an acronym, she wants to promote a culture that values diversity, inclusion, and equity, which is actually die. Let's die, right? Yeah. While striving to meet and exceed expectations of the communities are Chief Crowley's priorities, and she's grateful for the opportunity to serve Los Angeles. So her first priority is not fighting fires, right? This is Marxist communism. The whole thing about Gavin Newsom, the only time he cleaned up a city in California was when Xi Jinping was coming over to meet him. And what is with that anyways? How is the leader of China just going to fly straight to California and bypass the president and everybody else and go check on his investment interests? You know what I mean? It's very clear. But yeah, this is the stunning and brave fire chief who's doing such a great job over there in California right now. I just thought I'd share that with you.
All right,
I think
so let's hear what this douchebag says about this. Right? Here's what he said. He says, here's to blame for the fires. I haven't listened to this yet. You're probably going to piss me off.
Oh, I've heard this one. Yeah, he's a moron. Go ahead.
A lot of people right now are looking to point the blame for who is responsible for these fires, and I am no different. I want to know who the fault belongs to for this city running out of water, even though we literally have fires every year. Every year we have fires. We literally have a fire season, and yet we ran out of water. When I find out who is responsible, let me tell you, they are going to be in big trouble. We do have some initial ideas about who may be to blame. Incoming President Donald Trump is at the top of the list. The guy is literally orange, the same color as the flames.
This is not real.
No, it's not. It's totally not. It's not the clip I thought it was. The actual clip does blame Trump. So he's politicizing this. Like, dude, you commies are intentionally burning your state to the ground.
Okay, so this is just like a parody of that then.
Yeah. Did you see this? Hold on. This, and when I say commies, people might think I'm
climate change is a close runner-up.
Climate change. You know, that's what they fucking said. It was something I saw with Biden was talking about the fire. And then Harris popped in and said, yeah, and started pushing the climate change bullshit. Because he was like, man, it's so weird going through there. Here's a house burned down. All the trees around it are not burned. He says it was really weird. It was almost like a war zone, like these houses were specifically targeted. And then Harris pipes in and starts going, yeah, the climate change is causing that kind of thing to happen and shit. They're like, oh, fuck. Come on.
Oh.
No way. What do you got? Let's see.
Does Biden even know where California is?
When I keep saying communist, people might think I'm a McCarthy Red Scare type of guy, but it's actually the case. It's for real. Yeah. Like
it's right out of the Communist Manifesto, man. Right out of it.
Let me introduce you to Karen Bass. Back in the 1970s, community activist Karen Bass went on at least 15 trips to Cuba, many with a group known as the Venceremos Brigade, a Marxist group started by the Castro regime to subvert American interests, weaken democracies, and spread communism around the world. Founded in 1969, the Venceremos Brigade organized trips to Cuba every year for half a century. They attracted the most radicalized and delusional segments of the American left, including overtly Maoist and pro-Soviet communist groups. In fact, a Los Angeles police investigator who infiltrated the group testified to Congress saying that to be a member of the brigade, you had to be confirmed as a Marxist-Leninist, as a brigadista, and then moving up the ranks to organizer for the Venceremos Brigade. Karen Bass visited Cuba every 6 months. Their mission? To radicalize young, impressionable American leftists in terrorist tactics and guerrilla warfare.
I mean, the woman is a complete idiot. We'll play a clip of her.
She's a Karen commie.
She's an actual
She's the
communist,
worst kind of
like
Karen.
a real life communist. So is Barack Obama. So these people are actual communists. That's what the UN is. It's a communist organization. They want one world communism, where they lock up all the property in a corporation.
100%.
See, because corporations have successors. They don't have heirs. They never dies. The corporation. So once they can lock all the private property up into a corporation, we'll never be able to get it out again. And then we only have the right to use it the way that they allow us to use it. And that's where you get the whole fucking it's complete trust indenture administration.
I thought
Karen.
Sorry, go ahead.
There's another scary ass thing I got to show you guys. I showed on my show yesterday. Listen to this crazy bitch, if you don't mind, Dad, of course, but you'll find this interesting if you haven't seen it.
You don't have nothing up.
I got to share it again. My bad. I thought it was still up there. I brought it down. That's my fault.
That's it. Is that from that little avatar, Stephen? That's from Mr. Rogers?
Yes, it's King Friday the 13th. I'm King Friday the 13th. I was going to say that Karens are bad enough, but when you got a black Karen commie, that's the worst kind of Karen that I've ever seen.
I don't know. Is she a lesbian too?
She probably is. I think she looked like one.
Transgender.
She's got it all. That's like they made her in a lab. They made her in a lab or something to be like that. She's worse than Obama.
If you think that's scary, I actually really want you to see this, Dad. This is gonna freak you out. I just came across it the other day, and I was like, oh, I showed it on my show yesterday.
Commie lesbian.
Artificial intelligence has enabled advances in decoding brain activity in ways that we never before thought possible. You've heard a lot about AI over the past few years. Here at Davos, it's been the talk of the hour. But I want to talk about it in a different way, which is the ability to decode brainwave activity. After all, what you think, what you feel, it's all just data.
It's all just
data that in large patterns can be decoded using artificial intelligence. Consider this. The average person thinks thousands of thoughts each day. As a thought takes form, like a math calculation, you're happy, you're tired, you're hungry, you're elated. Neurons are firing in your brain, emitting tiny electrical discharges. As a particular thought takes form, hundreds of...
This isn't the actual one. It's up one. It's going to be this one because it's just a little short cartoon.
It's going to make you see the future and understand.
This is Davos World Economic Forum. Here's all the rich chicken hawks in here.
Be more productive and find love. Let's roll.
You're in the zone. Even you can't believe how productive you've been. Your memo is finished, your inbox is under control, and you're feeling sharper than you have in a decade. Sensing your joy, your playlist shifts to your favorite song.
In your
sending
mind.
chills up your spine as the music begins to play. You glance at the program running in the background on your computer screen and notice a now familiar sight that appears whenever you're overloaded with pleasure. Your theta brainwave activity decreasing in the temporal regions of your brain. You mentally move the cursor to the left and scroll through your brain data over the past few hours. You can see your stress levels rising as the deadline to finish your memo approached, causing a peak in your beta brainwave activity right before an alert popped up, telling you to take a brain break. But what's that unusual change in your brain activity when you're asleep? It started earlier in the month. You send a text message to your doctor with a mental swipe of your cursor. Could you take a quick look at my brain data? Anything to worry about? Your mind starts to wander to the new colleague on your team, whom you know you shouldn't be daydreaming about, given the policy against intra-office romance. But you can't help fantasizing just a little. But then you start to worry that your boss will notice your amorous feelings when she checks your brain activity and shift your attention back to the present.
So your boss
You
is
breathe
monitoring.
a sigh of relief when the email she sends you later that day congratulates you on your brain metrics from the past quarter, which have earned you another performance bonus.
Fucking
You head home jamming to the music with your work-issued brain-sensing earbuds still in. When you arrive at work the next day, a somber cloud has fallen over the office. Along with emails, text messages, and GPS location data, the government has subpoenaed employees' brainwave data from the past year. They have compelling evidence that one of your coworkers has committed massive wire fraud. Now, they're looking for his co-conspirators. You discover they are looking for synchronized brain activity between your coworker and the people he has been working with. While you know you're innocent of any crime, you've been secretly working with him on a new startup venture. Shaking, you remove your earbuds.
What do you think? Is it a future you're ready for?
No. She says it all excited. Is it a future you're ready for? Look at who she's talking to. You think any of those people are going to be the ones sitting there in front of the computer having their boss read their brain metrics?
Well,
No,
their
these-
response. Did you hear their response? They're like, no. She's
I'm pretty
trying
sure
to get all excited about it, and they were like, no.
that's J.G. Wentworth right there. Look at him. That's
Hey, don't
Rothschild's
say his name.
brother.
Listen, that's more of this
Maybe
shit. You know why? Because just the other day, I was just walking through the house and shit. This was like a couple of weeks ago, and I hadn't seen a commercial for this or seen an advertisement for nothing. But that little jingle of theirs, right? It's called J.G. Wentworth 877 cash now, right? Everybody's heard that fucking thing. And I was just singing that out. I put it as part of another song. Next thing I know, I start getting fucking emails and shit from J.G. Wentworth and shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Look, she's going to tell you that this
Surprised to learn
actually exists.
that it's a future that has already arrived. Everything in that video that you just saw is based on technology that is already here today. Artificial intelligence has enabled advances in decoding brain activity in ways that we never before thought possible.
Yeah. So that's why when you're thinking, they're using it right now. They
Yes.
just don't have your consent to use it against you.
Have
But
you ever
that's why
thought
when
of
you're
something
thinking,
like without
Yeah,
even saying
exactly.
it out loud, like thinking of fried chicken, KFC, and the ads pop up? You haven't even said the words. It's coming up
Yeah.
on social media, KFC, and it's like, what the hell? They're reading my mind.
Right.
I was thinking of fried chicken. I was hungry, and it popped up.
Yeah, I've had that happen a few times. I've had that happen a number of times.
I've talked to quite a few people. They've had that happen. So this is happening a lot more. They're reading our thoughts.
Yes, DJ. That's a good reference. That really was. If you've not ever seen that, it was a BBC show that they had. It was like a little short story
From the
thing
60s.
and it's got Donald Pleasance. Donald Pleasance, he was the guy who played the president in Escape from New York. Anyway, Donald Pleasance is in this, and he gets hired to write the news for the next year or for a certain year in the future. And he's like, well, wait, what do you mean by it? And by the time they've disclosed everything to him, it's like, you either got to take the job or you're going to be killed.
Yeah. And you could play it. I played it on my show. It's not copyright.
Yeah.
You can play it here if you wanted to play a clip or the whole thing. It's free
Maybe
to
we'll
play.
get into that here.
It's good.
It's pretty good.
It's worth it.
It is.
Yeah.
But that 15-minute city, the smart city that they want to make, like in Lahaina and LA and all that, that's what they want. They want to be able to read. If you ever even thought about any kind of dissidence, they're going to know. It's 1984 on steroids, not just reading your emotions it's reading your freaking mind.
It's a freaking horror show is what it is.
So you remember I said that a lot of this stuff is kind of multifaceted, right? So in this same area that's on fire and burning up right now, okay, what do you think of when I bring up Laurel Canyon?
I think of the bands, the Doors, Mind Control, MK Ultra, them working to influence the masses, all that stuff, Laurel Canyon.
Brian Wilson had a home in Laurel Canyon.
Jim Morrison of the Doors. And
the Manson family. Yeah, well, the Manson family moved in with him there and was living there in Laurel Canyon in his house. He finally had to throw them out because they were like helping themselves to everything.
Yeah.
And so he threw them out. And then later he moved. Well, then guess who moved into the house afterwards? Sharon Tate and Roman Polanski.
Oh.
This is where Charles Manson came back, you know, with his crew, and they supposedly killed Sharon Tate,
Tex Watson,
Abigail Folger, and who is that? Jay Sebring. And I'm trying to think who the fourth guy was. It slips my mind right off the bat. But in an interesting thing about that, so I've always said that, look, the military, Hollywood, DC, it's all fucking connected, right? So who came in before the police to make sure everything was kind of cleaned up? And then what I mean by that is certain types of films and videos and things that they had in their possession, right? None other than Jack Nicholson.
What? Jack, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Jack
Yes.
Nicholson.
Yeah.
Oh,
all right. So
crazy.
This is an area now. There's also the Laurel Canyon Studio, which is a base. Now I'm going to show you a thing about this real quick. Okay.
Yeah. The propaganda films, right? Was it?
Yeah. And who knows what else?
And all kinds.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. They never have it for just one thing.
The sick stuff,
right?
maybe, you know.
So you know that Rothschild that just passed away in the mountains of California in a fire? That it took them 33 minutes to put out? That seems very oddly specific. But were you aware that this happened in a place called Laurel Canyon? Are you familiar with Laurel Canyon? Maybe I can refresh your memory or tell you something new here today that you didn't know. Laurel Canyon was the home of Wonderland Air Force Base. Wonderland Air Force Base had created an entire studio on their acres of property. This studio was not just for recording music, but it was also for making films. This was the propaganda arm of our military. And it's pretty fascinating stuff if you think about it, because not only did they infiltrate the music industry, but they also infiltrated the film industry. And this is pretty well known by most of us at this point, at least I hope so. But what's super interesting is that each of the homes up there, many of them, if not all of them, have tunnels that connect to each other underground. Not just to each other, but all the way down into town, all the way down into nightclubs, fun things like that. There was a huge movement in the 60s when the war was starting out. And a lot of the people at the time, similar to today, wanted nothing to do with it. They were peace-loving people who said, this isn't our fight. I don't want to go to war. And it became a hippie movement. Well, the wonderful Wonderland Air Force Base decided they wanted to put their hand in manipulation into this movement. So they completely manufactured artists such as The Doors, Joni Mitchell, and I could go on. There's so many. But these artists, a lot of them were not even artists to begin with. Some of them had never even touched an instrument in their entire lives. And so they would fly in people into this Air Force Base to make sure that the sound that was coming out of these records was pristine and beautiful, although it wasn't even actually played by the frontmen of these bands. It's pretty fascinating stuff. Apparently they ended these programs after a while. That's what they say anyway. I think they just moved. But Laurel Canyon is also well known for other things too, like Charles Manson and his cult. Here's an interesting connection for you. The guy who ended up buying Wonderland Air Force Base, because now it's decommissioned, is Jared Leto. Yeah, he owns it now. Just think of the things he could produce in that space. And what's interesting is he also seems to have a cult-like following. Yeah. Fascinating stuff. Go down that rabbit hole of the Laurel Canyon. You'll be fascinated, I promise. Houdini even had a house there. In fact, I think you can go on this app and find a video when his house went up for sale or something. Anyway, they toured it, and you could see the lavish gardens, and they even mentioned the tunnels. These things that you call conspiracy theories actually go way further back then you realize it's not something that just started in the 21st century. It's been going on for a really, really long time. Do yourself a favor and look into Laurel Canyon. I love you.
So
that is pretty interesting, actually.
Yeah, and especially with the tunnels. And we've heard about also the tunnels and where supposedly under Diddy's house and Tom Hanks and the rest of these clowns.
Like you said, everything they do is multifaceted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, this goes all the way back to the early 1900s with the discovery of tunnels with tiled walls and shit already down there when they started digging for make the subway.
Yeah. I've seen that too.
Yeah.
That's true. I wonder if they
So
had
there's-
baby oil supplies down there, like Diddy did. maybe some storage for baby oil.
they didn't bother drugging nobody. They just raw dogged it.
They had it in kegs. They had kegs down there.
Yeah. Grog, kind of like how they used to Shanghai sailors, right? These sailors people would go into a little tavern in Shanghai, and they'd be sitting there at the bar, and they would drug their liquor, and they'd pass out. They'd wake up. They was on a ship, and they'd be put to work. You either work, or we're going to throw you overboard.
What is
That's
that?
what
How the
the
term
term
Shanghai came
Shanghai.
from? Really?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
wow! They drugged the sailors
Yeah.
and put them on a ship.
Yeah.
Oh
way to get a
man,
crew.
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's the ultimate draft right there. That's the ultimate drafting.
It's also one way to get killed by your crew too. Yeah, I mean, can't get too many of those employees. That's for sure.
Well, they wouldn't have the entire crew.
Yeah, no, I know. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. You can't steal your whole crew, otherwise they're probably going to kill you.
Whoever the slave guy is that's having to do that got shanghaied is, definitely not going to have the cream of the crop jobs.
Absolutely not. Probably cleaning up.
Right, you're in charge of the shit buckets. Oh man,
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, here's that thing I told you about. Here's a video where a house that didn't have a smart meter. This is crazy. Look at this.
So I talked to the owner of this house right here in Pasadena. I talked to the owner. The
Pasadena.
owner does not have a smart meter on this house, on the front part of his house. There's no smart meter, no smart meter. So the house did not burn. The back house is the part of the house that had the smart meter, and everything in the back of his house is burnt. No smart meter, smart meter. No smart meter, nothing. Nothing's burned. Well, the trees, but the house is perfectly fine. But the back house is completely gone, and that's the one with the smart meter.
How obvious is that? That's
It's
something.
the same thing in paradise. Same thing in paradise.
So what is it? Maybe like a targeting system for whatever directed energy thing they might be using, or maybe the thing itself is some sort of incendiary device that's, because like for instance, the lithium batteries that we carry around all the time can be like your phone can be hacked, and the temperature, like the way it regulates the battery temperature and the phone temperature can be adjusted. They can turn your phone into something like that.
They got the way it works. If it sends, it can receive. All right. And what it's doing is it's sending data out. Like instead of the guy used to come around and read your meter, your electric meter on your house, now this thing, all they have to do is just upload the data from your smart meter. That supposedly saves them the problem of having to have a guy come out to your house and look at your meter every month. So that's how they sold it to everybody. But if it sends, it can receive too. And what can they send to it? An overload?
Right.
Whatever. Through the power lines. And
That's right.
I did see some video where there was wires.
I think that's what we. I think that's what we have to be aware of.
Well, they were sparking. The shit was going through the electric wires. It was sparking in the trees and shit in the area. But the way it seems to have targeted these houses, I don't know. It's hot. It's a weird fire, man, because it's like I said, there's trees all around that haven't been burnt, but the house is like nothing left of it.
And the
like
garbage bins, the plastic bins are just left out there at the
Yes.
road, and they're not melted, or they should be melted to the pavement or the sidewalk. A lot of them are just right there. They're not melted. So what happened with all that?
And the thing that gets me is that now they got looters. They
Yeah,
have
of
to
course they do.
evacuate these areas, and then if you forcibly evacuated an area, how is there people getting in there to loot?
Right, because they're being allowed in.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. It's engineered collapse of that. I mean, honestly, I'm not sad to see. I mean, I'm sad for the good
But it's like-
families and stuff there, but place is pretty decadent. My wife was telling me, Michelle was telling me, she just seen a thing where Nikki Glazer, the raunchy comedian, she's kind of funny but kind of really raunchy.
Oh,
She went
yeah,
up
yeah.
during an awards show, and she's like, Hollywood is a godless place. And she literally put them on blast. She's like, so far, since I've been watching everybody come and accept their rewards, we've got like 10 references to their families, 0 references to God at all.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He's like, this place is Babylon. That's what it is. And you guys should check that out. I mean, that's not verbatim. My wife was telling me about it, but absolutely. And here's the thing: somebody in the chat asked us why everything's smart is so dumb. Well, SMART actually stands for, or allegedly stands for, self-monitoring and reporting technology. It's not actually. Yeah,
It's not smart, like that.
Yeah.
It's a weapon. It's weaponized.
I pulled up a little short 2028 video about what their plans are. If you want to check that out, it's a minute.
Hi, everyone. By now, you've probably already heard about the LA fire. What I want to show you is some things I found this morning that you may not have heard of. First, I want to remind you that for some time, Los Angeles has been part of the C40 Cities Initiative. This is the smart city plan for the entire world. This video from this morning reminded me so much of Lahaina that I decided to do a lot of deep digging.
God.
Yeah, it's rough.
No,
Looks
look.
like Mad Max.
Okay, wait a second.
I
That
wasn't
looks.
at all
Pause
surprised
that for a second.
when I found this.
Yeah.
That looks like a firebombed city, or even like the devastation of Hiroshima. It
It's
really
pretty
does.
rough.
Look at that.
I'm trying to get a good non-blurry. Yeah, it's pretty rough, dude. Like, damn. It looks like a Mad Max, like post-apocalyptic. It's like the opening scene to a fucking Book of Eli or something.
It looks almost as bad as outside of Detroit in the suburbs.
Almost as
So I
bad,
wasn't
yeah.
at all
Yeah,
surprised
it's pretty
when I
bad
found
there.
this.
All right, wait.
See, it's funny. I just noticed something. It said $1 billion for the high-speed rail. A lot of California's been bitching about that because they passed a spending bill for the high-speed rail for $1 billion and haven't started building it yet. I wondered why. It seems like they were probably waiting for something.
Can I ask you? Have you guys seen that meme that shows that the map of the high-speed rail correlates directly with where the fires were?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
not seen that, but I
I
wouldn't
think
be
I did see that
surprised.
earlier. I
Saw
like
that
the
back
Mad
when
Max
the
movie.
Paradise Fires took place.
See, affordable housing. But
Yeah.
and see what their plan was to have immigrants and all of this stuff, not us. It's called the Great Replacement Migration. I went through it yesterday. It's funny, if you look it up on Google, they say it's a conspiracy theory, but I have the actual UN document that says that they want to replace the Western.
Oh, it's real. It's definitely
Western
really happening.
populations with immigrants and refugees, primarily from Muslim countries. So you look over at what's going on in Germany right now. I had a subscriber tell me that they're setting up anti-tip lines, tip lines, anonymous tip lines for anyone who's making anti-Muslim remarks in Germany. Can you imagine that? My dad was stationed in Germany. Can you
Yeah.
imagine the German people telling on each other for making anti-Muslim remarks when the Muslims are going around and dropping grapes everywhere on all the German women?
Yeah.
And this is the whole. And that's the whole thing.
There was a large, at least Turkish and Muslim presence in Frankfurt, like over on like one particular street. Like when you'd go downtown to the Frankfurt Hauptbahnhof, the main train station, there was like, I think it was Münchener Street. It was like one street over. Like if you hung a right and then just went up one street, and you could get all like euros and all kinds of shit like that, you know.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of Turks. Of course, that's where we'd always go to get hash because they always had hash.
There's a Moonshiner Street there. Moonshiner.
Well,
Was it?
And like, look, so that's the whole thing is like all
No,
over the rest.
Moonshiner, which
Oh,
would be
okay.
in English.
I was thinking of
Municher.
moonshine. I'm sorry.
No, they pronounce Munich.
You know,
They
we
call
need
it
to look up that word. We need to look up the word moonshine. We need to look up the word moonshine.
No, München is what the Germans call Munich.
Okay,
they pronounce
München. Okay, interesting.
So
München.
Munich, moon. Maybe there's something to it.
Yeah, there might be.
Just to cap this off real quick, I just wanted to say, like, all around the rest of the world, you have like this dark wave of communism falling down, right? All over. So in England, you have to have a license to access the internet, and they have the same problem Germany does. Same thing. Yeah,
You really need a license to access the internet?
You have a fucking license
I didn't
to
know
get on the
that.
internet.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep, they're doing that
Bloody
shit
hell.
in Australia too. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
A license.
That's
the poor Aussies and the Aussies and the Kiwis are like really
nuts.
You know, like this Agenda 21 bullshit going on with them hard, man.
How do you get the license? Do you have to take a test, or what hoops do you have to jump through? You have to
I'm
pay.
not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure it's just like an ID rather. Not,
Oh, I
know,
heard
like
you have to get a license for a TV. You have to license every TV in England, I believe.
License every TV.
Oh man,
Yeah, England.
It's crazy. It's not.
And they're
crazy.
doing it. They're using the whole like, oh, well, we don't want your children to be exposed to misinformation, so we need to have IDs. That's how Australia is spending it. And like, so this big wave of communism is coming on. They all made their move just now, like just in the last few months. They just started pulling their masks off, or like say the last year started pulling their masks off. I mean, England is super fucked up right now. They're literally sending people to jail.
knocking on doors for talking on the internet.
They're arresting people for fucking silent prayer outside of an abortion clinic. Not even on their property. Standing outside on the sidewalk, silently praying, and arrested them for it.
Oh man!
Listen, man, you can't disrespect Moloch, man. You know,
I'll
you
tell
know
you
that.
what, man,
Not in
that's
England.
not a
Silent opposition, you get arrested.
listen. This is the
Wow.
whole
It
thing.
is. It is
like,
It's so prevalent. The control through images and logos, and by Satan. I mean, it's
a hell realm. You're
exactly
right.
what you just said. It's a Moloch control. I have young children, and I'm homeschooling, and it's all logos. And
I have a video on that.
It's in
signs
everything.
and
But
symbols, showing
the
them.
visual is so obvious. The symbols. It's
Yes,
symbols. BAAL. Symbolism.
Yes,
it's called sigil magic.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a video that's about an hour long showing all the corporate.
I'm sorry?
I have a video that's about an hour long showing all the corporate logos and what they mean. And I made it about a year ago or so. But I
Yes.
wanted to go back to just for a second what Burn the
great.
Corporate Fiction was talking about, the Great
Please,
Replacement.
can you please put the link in the chat?
Sure, I'll look it up and I'll
Put that
post
link
it.
in the chat,
Yeah,
please.
I'll
Sorry to
post
interrupt.
it for you. But
Sorry.
when you said about the Great Replacement, white people, white Americans are going to be a minority very soon in America.
No, they're not.
No,
They thought so. No,
What?
hell no. They thought so. If Kamala, no, that's not going to happen. I do want to correct myself. It's the television. You're right. The television's in England. The internet's in Australia.
Okay.
So that's where you need the
you don't
need
think
the
the white
ID.
Americans with the birth rates are going to be a minority? They're not going. They're going to be under 50% in the next, I think, 20
No,
years.
they're not.
No.
You're not gonna like my answer to this, but
Okay.
no, they're not. Tom Holman, no, like you guys hate to hear it, but Tom Holman is absolutely gonna go get all these. He can't wait. He's chomping at the bit. Like, no, whatever you guys want to think about that. I honestly believe, and this comes from my understanding of the law, everything that they've been trying to do, government, how we got in this situation. I'm not going to expound on it, but they really, really thought Kamala was going to win. Like, I know my company is geared up. We switched over, like the company I worked over, we switched over the type of compressors that we're using for refrigerants because of the climate change shit that's now about to go down the tubes. And I know that my company would not have made that big of an investment. I work for a $300 million plus dollar a year company that has only 500 employees. So they got a lot of money. This is big time. Make all the open refrigerator displays for Starbucks, stuff like that. Like every Starbucks, we're the only supplier, the only company, the only one in Michigan. They actually solidly committed to this climate change shit. And that's now about to go down the tubes, 100%.
Okay. Okay, I want to ask you something. You're in a refrigerator. Okay, I have a huge question. Is it true that the major element for cooling is fluoride?
That I would have no idea. I'm not one of the engineers. Yeah.
Okay, so I just looked up on the internet what is the chemical element for cooling, right? And from what I understand, from what you just stated was, okay, for climate change, we're changing everything. It's 2025, they're changing everything from what I recall. And if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But it was a hydrofluorocarbon. It was a hydrofluorochloride before in 2021, and that's Freon. And now it's called a hydrofluoride carbon. But at the end of the day, you guys, I don't know. It's totally theoretical and just a crazy ass idea, but concept. But it seems to me that fluoride is what actually is the cooling element, and fluoride is a neurotoxin. So is it possible that along with all these other facets that are killing us, that perhaps the fluoride that cools our food and cools our homes? I'm in Florida where everybody's fucking addicted to the absolute correct temperature for their great comfort is actually what's killing them. I feel like we're just on a total walk to suicide.
It's not has anything to do with what the fluoride affects or anything. It's not fluoride in that respect of a derivative of aluminum.
No,
we're
right.
doing the thing.
The fluoride that's in toothpaste.
Anyway, I don't want to get off on a thing about fluoride.
Sorry.
You sure of that?
Yeah, listen. We're talking about these fires.
Okay, sorry.
Right? Okay. That's where we're gonna stay. Within bounds, I mean, sorry. We can get on about the chemical makeup of fucking rat farts. It don't matter.
Rat farts.
Anyway,
let's do it, Dave. Let's do it.
This is Newsom in response to the looters. Now, I heard somebody in the I read somebody in the chat said something about that they showed black people moving, and they called it that they were looting. And I'm okay. That's not the videos I saw. But anyway, it looked like they were moving to me. It looked like they were hauling us out of there with somebody.
Did not die from the fire.
Well, looting is black people moving. It's the same thing.
Well, yeah, kind of. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's
all in the way you word it, It's like, well, the senator didn't lie. He just gave a less than truthful response. Oh, okay, that sounds better. Anyway,
to keep people safe, no looting, zero tolerance for looting. That's why these guys are out here, and I'm very grateful for them, particularly these critical checkpoints that allow law enforcement to move more mobilely and do the interior work.
See, he's all about just the presence of the image.
Why is that idiot wearing a mask with a 34 microphone?
Well, because it's smoke.
Exactly.
Smoke and shit all over the place. So, yeah, listen, this guy, he's all about the acting. If you look at
Watch his hand gestures,
He's so
his
sick.
movements. He's practiced this kind of
He's
shit.
such an actor.
And he doesn't really say shit. He's a soft talker, but listen.
I heard he eats toothpaste.
He might. But watch, just watch how he is. This is all.
He's a toothpaste eater. He's a fluoride eater.
Every bit of it. And there's no meat to what he actually says. You see?
Have to keep people safe, no living, zero tolerance for living. That's why these guys are out here, and I'm very grateful for them, particularly for these critical checkpoints that allow law enforcement to move more mobilely and do the interior work. Have to
Keeps directing your attention elsewhere with his hands and his furtive looks and shit like that.
Good point.
Even though you're not going to look that direction, it draws your attention away from him. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's an art.
He's a puppet, that guy. I think he's a puppet.
I think they ought to just do something bad with this.
Wasn't he Pelosi's nephew or something? Right. They're all sick.
They're all bloodline.
Oh, yeah.
They're all inbred.
They're all sick
They're all inbred.
bloodline people.
Now, whose incompetence was this? This reservoir is for if there's fires. That's what this is for. And look at this.
This was supposed to be the water to put out the Palisades fire. This is the Santa Ynez Reservoir. It's the water supply basically for the Palisades. When they first started fighting the Palisades fire, they ran out of water extremely quickly. Wednesday, 3 a.m., they were basically out. And there's been a lot of talk on why this happened. So how long has this reservoir been empty for?
Since February of last year. There was no communication from the Department of Water and Power to LAFD that there was a water supply issue.
The firefighters, when they started fighting the fires, no one informed them that the reservoir was empty. This reservoir holds 117 million gallons of water. The fire department was using a water supply from 3 backup tanks, each one only holding 1 million gallons of water. They say it's closed for maintenance to repair the lid that's on top of it. I don't know a lot about reservoir maintenance, but there's literally no construction materials or vehicles anywhere in sight. Also, with a reservoir like this, you can refill it or start to refill it. So another question is, if they saw the Santa Ana winds were coming and we have this remarkably dry wet season, why was there no attempt to start refilling it back up? I know I threw a lot out there, but I think we need some answers, guys. Some real answers here.
It's all by design.
What do you make of that, Ryan?
This was supposed to be the water to put out.
Oh, there's that thing that slings babies out of you.
Yeah, I think that he's a I think that he's a lying scumbag commie. It's obvious that he intentionally allowed this to happen. You know, they were both over in Africa. Well, of course you do. You know, they were both over in Africa when the shit actually started going down. And Newsom, and then they got their asses back here real quick. And all you have to do is look at why is he not letting the water out of the reservoir? Why would you not do that right now?
It's all by design.
Mm-hmm. And I think it starts back even further planned than that, right up there by where I used to live in the LA aqueduct. That thing goes a long way down to Los Angeles from the runoff that comes from the Sierra Mountains up through the Owens Valley.
Mm-hmm.
And you go, if you want to read something interesting, look up the water wars of Inyo County. You want to hear some stories of some rebels going against the government. And what I found was LA County has so much fucking pull way over in Inyo County where I lived at. Like you got whole areas fenced off and owned by LA County. That's part of LA County inside of a whole other county.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
That's weird.
And the aqueduct that runs through there, that's the water that feeds
Well,
Los
that's all
Angeles.
about incorporation.
You know, so
That's
well,
all
they came up,
incorporation.
what they did
Dave.
is
That's what they do. It's all about incorporation. So
they stole the water. You have to understand there was
Yeah.
rich farmland. There was rich farmland and ranch land right at the foot of the Sierra Mountains, right? And then they come through and they build the aqueduct, which now is taking the runoff water that comes from the Sierra Mountains, and instead of it feeding out into the little local lakes and into the land, it's gone.
Yeah.
And so it started drying up, and all these lakes started drying up. They pumped all the water out of it and sent it to Los Angeles.
They're going to be stealing the water from Canada eventually to send it to Los Angeles and Las Vegas, and they'll be stealing the water right out of my glass up here in Canada. They'll be taking my water.
Really?
Well, they want full spectrum dominance, that's for sure.
Out of the Great Lakes, out of the Great Lakes region.
Dave, can we talk a little bit about water? You're in California. You got a big long coastline.
The
You
what?
got a big long coastline. Like 98% of the water on Earth is salt water.
Right.
And only 2% of the water is fresh water.
Well, that's what they
So
tell
how
us.
many of the
You're
rivers
not, I
that
don't
man
think
made-
people are
made-
taking into account primary water. There's a lot of water.
Okay, fair enough.
down
But the
underground.
primary water is okay. Fair
All right,
enough.
we're
But so we don't have
told
a real
listen,
measurement for that.
You
But
got to
let's
be
just-
careful. Those aren't measurements. Those are calculations. Those are estimates. There ain't no way anybody's
enough.
ever measured how much
Okay.
of any fucking water. I hear that. Listen, I hear this bullshit. I saw something on a Facebook post that said that water was older than the sun. It said water is older than the sun, and I was like, how in the fuck anybody know how old water is? What'd you do? Cut it in half and
No,
count
there's
the
an
rings?
expiration date on it. You didn't know that?
Jesus.
On water?
I mean, it was just the most ridiculous damn thing. And I'm like, wait a second, people, because it's a science page.
How
or
old
something
is
like
the
that, people
oldest
say,
water
"Oh,
drop? Did they say how old the oldest drop
I don't
of
know.
water
What'd
is?
you do? Did you carbon date the shit, right? But from what I understand, the reason that they can't use any of the ocean water for this is because it's got the salt in it. It'll destroy the soil. Nothing will grow there.
Well, what about desalination plants, though? Removal of the salt to use it.
Oh, they've had all this time to put that up, and they don't do it. Listen,
What about that all Monsanto's products are developed from salt?
Well, that's
All
not going to put
Monsanto's
out.
products are developed from salt.
Well, what should we do then? Take the bunch of Monsanto fucking shit and put it on the fire? You know?
No, my point is that I met a guy from Haiti who told me that his grandfather, who died at 119, lived on the land, and that when and in Haiti, what they do to fertilize the land is to sprinkle salt over it, and that's what I've been doing. I'm growing a food forest in my front yard.
Well,
and
you know that when the Romans
doing-
would conquer and subjugate an area, as punishment, they would go in, like if somebody was a traitor, right? They'd go in and they'd kill the guy, and then they'd salt his land because nothing would grow there again.
Yeah.
So you don't want to be putting salt in the ground.
You're right.
Well, that's what we've heard. That's what we've heard, Dave. But I'm doing it in my yard, so
Yeah.
I question everything that's in these.
But
in
they
these
don't even
books.
have a
I'm like-
tree
I'm
left
doing-
in
I'm
Haiti.
questioning all this.
Nothing grows there in Haiti. They don't even have a tree left.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Oh, it does?
It does grow.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
All right.
So
Well,
and
anyway,
I
keep me
just got back
updated
from
on your
Colombia
salt.
5 days ago where things grow, and they use also they sprinkle salt. Okay,
Okay,
and things
well, let me know
grow
how that
near
goes.
salt
I
water.
would
And that's
never-
grease.
I would never put salt on a plant unless I was
Oh
going to
well,
eat
I
it.
do.
Brondo
my
makes
trees are
things
growing.
grow.
All right. Well, I wish you luck with that.
Okay, and we can go in. Let's go into it because I'm studying the periodic table.
No,
of
I don't
elements.
want
That's
to talk
We're getting
about
a bit
fucking
off
salt
topic.
plants.
I think.
You did see
Sorry,
what you,
okay.
you did see what the name of the show was tonight, right?
Figaro.
You're right. I'm sorry.
Fire.
Yes.
Fuego means
I
fire.
thought it
I think
said,
that salt and
that's
fire
what it
are
means. I
related.
thought it was Figaro.
Okay, yes, sir.
I started singing when I saw your title. I was like, Figaro,
Oh, no,
Figaro.
All right, so this guy put this out today. It's on the endless stream of looters in newly announced evacuation zone in Encino and Palisades Fire. This was yesterday. This went up, and this is, I don't know. Let's see. These are supposedly the looters of this thing. This is bad.
I've seen the same
Just
exact people
moving
just
around.
moving around.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, what are they doing?
Prowling, bro.
You know, with all the chaos, now would be a good time to go sport hunting in California.
Yeah, I've heard it is like chaos. Oh yeah,
what do you say?
He's asking like, what's going on up here, and I'm like,
No
there's a fire, genius.
I like you.
Oh, what the fuck do you think's happening?
Where do you expect to go? I mean, this is fucking entertaining. This is sketch right here, and actually, this would be a good spot for a live.
So what do you guys do?
We're journalists.
Journalists?
So yeah, we were gonna go. I guess this is I don't know.
This Tesla's been up here like 5 times already.
There's a
lot
fire
of fluoride in the
genius.
water there.
Yeah, we knew this was a dead end. What are you looking for? Policia! Policia! Cops are on their way. Yeah, the cops are on their way. That's right.
So people are rolling up into these dead end streets.
What are the cops gonna do?
Bro. That van was here to steal from somebody, bro. We're trying to walk
The cops probably not even going to show up. They've been defunded.
No.
There's a shit ton of looters coming up here, bro. Huh? Yeah, they're coming around right now. They're non-English speaking folk. What? Yeah, look at Yeah, what are you doing up here? You ain't getting shit. We got your flags.
Here's the thing: probably not a single one of them has a gun though, because it's California. So
Oh, and if they do, it's probably one of the hardest type to shoot. Did you ever see the requirements they gotta have for an
probably like
AR-15?
Canada.
It's got this fin on the pistol grip that sticks out, so you got to hold your hand almost like that. You can't hold it like that.
What?
It's like, yeah, it's stupid, and you can't have any more than a 5-round magazine.
What?
Yeah,
communism.
dude.
I love it.
I have a little 5-round magazine. I like that for target shoot because you can get down really low prone. You don't have nothing sticking down. You can get at a really low prone position. But other than that, not much else used for it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Doesn't surprise me.
California. It's California.
It's California.
Yeah.
It is.
People don't realize this is we are actually fighting against communism. We have so McCarthy wasn't crazy, right? They made a whole movie about how Hollywood was infiltrated by the commies in the 50s. It's called Hail Caesar with George Clooney.
Well,
and they
Patton,
make it like a big
General Patton
funny
said
joke.
that we fought the wrong enemy. You know,
Right, so yeah,
the commies.
exactly. We need to continue eastward to Russia and take out the Reds. Yeah, absolutely. But here's another thing that most people don't know is that we subsidized and funded communism cannot exist on its own.
That's
so
true.
Our Federal Reserve Bank and our politicians were actually propping up, as well as other European nations were propping up Russia. We propped up communism.
Yeah.
England's responsible for introducing it into China. Most people don't realize that because they
By
bankrupted,
traders.
destroyed China through the opium wars. Yeah.
By
No,
traders.
this has been long time in the making, for sure.
Yeah, because on its own, it just falls apart. It bankrupts
Yeah.
automatically. That's the natural course of it.
That's why they need the debt currency system to go worldwide and be permanent. So it's just a constant, basically the money, or it's not money, the currency just represents your sweat equity and your future sweat equity, actually.
With
Your
the
future sweat
Rothschild
equity.
central banks and
Do you,
the debt.
do you guys think that maybe these fucking, we know this whole place is like a den of fucking demons.
Yes.
And a lot of shit has come out where a lot of people have realized what demons exist there and that they're all nesting together like this. Is this just relocation, do you think? Because it ain't going to stop them.
Yeah.
It's just relocation. They're just going to pick a new spot.
They got something
Well, I
planned.
think they're going to stay in the same spot, and like it's going to be the agenda.
I mean, I'm talking about these elite fuckers.
Yeah,
because they can't rebuild. They've lost their houses. They can't rebuild.
Oh, those aren't the elite guys. Those are just the puppets.
I'm talking about the creepy fucks that we see in front of the cameras, the creepy fuckers that are having Diddy parties and all practicing this fucking OTO bullshit, right? This crawling shit. It's like, I think they're just relocating because they're not going to rebuild their, oh, fuck, I lost my home, and actually they didn't, they just got something else set up for another place.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think you're right. And actually, yesterday I had one of my subscribers say the same thing. It says that it was a cover to move everything out of that area because everybody knows that it's a big cesspool of fucked up stuff going on over there.
Well, this is kind of interesting. I think was Mel Gibson. I kind of like his take on shit, but I ain't sold on him. I'm like, he could just as easily be, the controlled opposition for the opposition. You know what I'm saying?
I like him.
He could be a Jaren. You think he could be a Jaren? Mel could be a Jaren?
No.
He's an old school. He's an old school Catholic. He's an old school Catholic that hates Vatican II.
But Jaren's
he's
the
an
Home
old school
Depot
he's
guy.
An old school Catholic though. He hates Vatican II. Like Vatican II, you should watch what he says about the Pope and Vatican II, and so he despises the government of the Catholic Church right now.
Yeah,
and so 100%. I think he's pretty solid, but that's my personal opinion.
But there again, you never can know somebody, and you got to be careful about a perception deception too. And we can't forget that these people are indeed actors.
Yes, yes.
So, but I don't know. There does seem to be a bit of what's genuine. He did get blacklisted, it seems, for calling out the overseers, the Steens and the Bergs and
the tiny
legal witnesses and whatnot. So, I don't know. Let's hear what he said on this. I think he's like,
well, I know they were messing with the water, letting reserves go for one reason or another. They've been doing that a while. California has a lot of problems that sort of baffle the mind as far as why they do things. And then in the events like this, you sort of look, oh, is it on purpose? Which it's an insane thing to think. But one begins to ponder whether or not there is a purpose in mind. What could it be? Do they want the state empty?
Yeah, he's trying to say it without saying it exactly.
Yeah.
All right, I've got a stream starting in 10 minutes. I got to go over the second part of the Magna Carta. Well, not the second part of Magna Carta, but go over. It's a part 2 to the first one I did. So, thanks for having me on, guys. I'll, if I finish up and you're still streaming, which I doubt, I'll pop back over. But I told everybody.
I ain't going to stay on real late.
All right.
Good to see you.
But maybe over the years, we'll see what's going on.
All right. Sounds good, guys. I'll shoot you a link if you want, just in case.
Sure.
But all right. I will see you later. All right. Bye.
All right, man. Have a good one. This is kind of freaky shit, man, because we've had fires here in the mountains, but I've not been. Well, I've been pretty close to them. Like when we had one, I guess it's probably been about almost 20 years now. Real bad one where they had to bring in smoke jumpers and shit. And I was working at the lodge up on the mountain, and our restaurant was feeding all the firefighters. So we were working, and these guys were coming in shifts, and man, the smoke smell on these guys. We had Native American smoke jumpers from all over the place, man, from out west had come in to help fight the fires. So it was pretty wild. But check this out. This is pretty crazy.
That looks like a hell room.
It's like that's what you would think war zone or hell would look like.
It's like
Remember
hell.
that day after?
It literally looks like hell, like on everything on fire. Wow.
Just look at that. It's just fucking. And it's just like these ghostly, glowing skeletons of buildings is like so eerie, you know?
Yeah, and all
And
the
it's
heavy
really
smoke.
weird because, you know, I've recognized some of these areas a little bit and that we've seen like with these images from the freeway and shit, because I've been to LA a few times and go down to Venice Beach and whatnot. And of course, it wasn't as bad then. It got bad rapidly. Worse and worse since like 2017, 2016. It's gotten really fucking bad in the last 10 years. And, you know, I recognize some of these scenes that you see, and it's so wild to see it on fire, you know, like the Hollywood sign, like I used on my thumbnail. I'm like, I've been up there by that Hollywood sign, you know?
Me too. I
Yeah.
was in
You
California
know,
for a few times, but it was in the early 2000s before 2010, so it was different. There wasn't all the, it wasn't quite the way it is these days. But you don't sound like you're from California. You sound like a
no,
Michigander or
I'm not.
something to me.
I'm not. I went out to California. I lived there for a few years, growing weed.
Are you a Michigander?
And yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I thought I recognized the accent.
Actually, I'm a Michiganian. Michiganders sound like a goose, man. But
A
yeah,
Michigan.
Michigan.
I have
Yeah.
relatives there. I got relatives in Michigan, outside of
yeah.
Detroit, in the suburbs, like out, not, you know, not
Where
right
at?
in Detroit, Roseville, and some of those places.
All right. Yeah, I know about
in those
Roseville.
suburbs, but yeah.
Look at this apocalyptic
Oh
scene.
shit!
Look at this shit.
Looks like lava. Wow. Wow, look at that. City of Fire.
That's just.
That looks
What the fuck?
apocalyptic. That's just looks like hell to me.
It does.
Hellfire.
So
Dave, so I'm sure you guys know really well, real quick, the Great Fires of, right? Like everybody knows, you just put the Great Fires of in Google and you can put your neighboring town or your own town. I found in my small towns in Florida, the Great Fire of Auburndale, which is a neighboring municipality here in Polk County. And there was a fire in 1916. You know, like there's these, it really, really, for me, cements this concept of the reset. And the reset has much to do with fires. And
yeah, you got the Great Chicago Fire.
Right?
You had the Great San Francisco Fire.
But
you had the Chicago Fire.
I mean, if you put, but I mean, there's even the Great Fire of Orlando. There's even the Great Fire of Lakeland.
And usually you find out that the cause was some kind of fucking horse shit too. Like the Chicago Fire.
Oh, totally.
It was supposed to be
17,000 buildings. 17,000 buildings. Like in an earlier video you showed tonight in the last hour, showed a speed of destruction of building, which is incomprehensible. And additionally, we know that the trees are not even burning.
Right.
So what?
Well, look at if I could ever
Earth has
finish
not
my
changed.
point.
We have the same powers. We have the same powers.
I was trying to finish my point about the Chicago Fire for those people out there that don't know. Maybe the cause of it was supposedly some woman, Mrs. O'Leary, some widow,
and her cow kicked over a lantern. But the funny thing is that hers was one of the few buildings that didn't fucking burn. So what's up with that? But listen, this guy asked AI. This guy asking AI, how would you destroy America? Listen to this. This is fucking nuts.
If you were evil and wanted to destroy America, how would you do it?
If I wanted to destroy America, 1, divide society, encourage division across political, racial, and ideological lines, amplifying conflicts that create distrust and weaken national unity. 2, weaken education, gradually lower standards and shift focus away from critical thinking, creating a population that's more easily influenced and less informed. 3, damage public health, promote widespread use of unhealthy foods, chemicals, and pharmaceuticals, leading to chronic illness and dependency. 4, break community bonds, undermine family and community structures by fostering isolation and individualism over collective support. 5, control the narrative, limit free speech and censor alternative viewpoints, creating a culture where people fear speaking openly. This would erode resilience, leaving the nation open to influence and control.
Sound familiar?
And that is where we are. And that's what we talk about all the time. Look, you got to be careful. There's always somebody trying to fucking do, whether it be some slick talking fucking pastor coming up with his little disarming bullshit, trying to sell you some crap.
Mm-hmm.
You can't sense that. I sensed that right off the bat with our Mr. Duffy character. And I saw him for what the fuck he was right the first time I looked at him.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this guy's as full of shit as a Christmas goose.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can just, it's like you can sense it, you know?
Education. What about these commie Karens that are teaching the children?
Well, yeah. Well, see, that's what I was saying the other night is that they don't care.
And most of them don't have children. Most of them don't have children.
Yep. Because they're lesbians.
They don't care if you object. Okay? Because it's them they're working on. You got to figure out, an 8-year-old is going to be able to vote in 10 years. 10 years. That's a short span of time.
Yeah.
Okay, so an 8-year-old is going to be voting in 10 years.
Yeah, a decade.
9-year-old be voting in 9 years.
Mm-hmm.
And you can go through this gradual indoctrination process. Well, how do you keep the parents uninvolved? Well, you got to keep them busy.
Mm.
You got to keep them busy. How are we going to get the women out of the home? Right? Well, we'll just get them upset about not having equal rights.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we'll say that they don't have equal rights, and we'll frame it this way. And consequently, they'll want to go out and be career. And if they do, and they have a family, then they'll have no choice but to give them up to the government for daycare or school, compulsory education, after school programs, daycare, what have you. And the longer these children are in the hands of your captors, the more they're going to be indoctrinated into the captor's way of thinking.
Yes.
And they don't give a shit if you exist. If you not if you exist, of course they don't care if you exist. They don't care if you object. They don't give a fuck. What are you going to do about it? We're doing this by law. They get it all with the lawyers and everything, legalizes everything. And consequently, you can go to the school board and you say, hey, we don't want this. Yeah, but we have these regulations because of federalized schools that we have to do this, that, and the other.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just further dumbing down the population, further indoctrinating them into basically a Marxist idealism.
Really? Like the guy earlier that just left, he was talking about communism. When you said they got 10 years from an 8-year-old to voting, right? If they indoctrinate these kids with gay teachers, the lesbians, the Karens, they're going to think all that's normal. They're going to vote for them when they're 18. They're going to say, well, there's nothing wrong with them. We got to support the gay Karen candidate, and they're going to be voting for them because they were raised by these teachers that don't have children that are gays, right?
Totally. But may I just comment on the homeschooling moment right now, if that's okay with you, Dave? It has a little bit to do with what he just stated. I'll be 1 minute. I'm homeschooling in a small town in Central Florida, and it's the second most homeschooling county in the United States. So, real trailblazer women. And yesterday, I was at a homeschooling free play event, and I laid in the sun, and I was doing my sun gazing, and the kids didn't notice. And I listened to 3 different conversations among children between 13 and 17 years old. And these 3 different conversations openly spoke in a Christian-focused homeschooling group about being lesbian. Another group of kids talked about it's okay to have a boyfriend. 4 boys talking. It's okay to have a boyfriend or to have a girlfriend because then you're not cheating because you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, so you're not cheating on either one.
No.
So this is very, 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 very real.
Yeah.
It's very real. We have an oncoming generation of idiots that are obsessed with physical stimulation versus critical thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And the good news is that I went to the leader of the group, and it looks, like she was concerned. And there was another mother I talked to. I said, I don't even have my glasses on, and I can't see which children it was. I'm not looking to blame any children. We need to look at what is it that is, and we know what it is, but this is so incredibly serious.
Yeah.
That the children are obsessed with the sexual.
They're ruining a generation.
I remember that. And it's not like it was perfect when I was a kid. When I was 12, we were shipped from my area, which is more of a redneck area, and I was at a school from kindergarten to 6th grade, small town, and then we were all shipped to a so-called more urban area in a town at that point of 30,000 people, shipped to the other side of town, which was the black side of town. And then suddenly introduced at 11 years old, I was 11, to drugs, pregnancy, to all the craziness. And my daughter just turned 12. Right? Yeah. And so it is so absolutely real, the indoctrination and the entire focus on the children.
It is.
And it's and even
they're
within the home.
I think it's the sexualizing of them too.
They're going after the kids.
Right off the bat, they want to sexualize these kids and everything. But we are on YouTube. I don't want to get striked. So
I mean, look at the 3 of us.
Right? It's demonic.
We're older.
Would you call it demonic? Victoria, is your name Victoria?
And we're older. All 3 of us are older. We know what we've been impacted by. We've been impacted by all this bullshit. And for the 3 of us to break through it and try to speak up and all of that.
But it's way worse. It's gotten 20 times worse.
It is so much worse.
It's so bad now. I feel sorry for kids.
You're right.
It's so much worse. But it's so bad.
Well, no, you know what the thing is? What the fuck is wrong with the parents? Okay? There's where the problem's at right there, and it's like, look, you need to grow a pair. You need to tell these fucktards, look, the state has got way too much play in your home. Listen to the way this guy handled this well. This was a CPS worker come to somebody's house. And people will knuckle under these fucks, and you don't have to do shit with them. That's the reality of it. Listen how this guy handles this.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good. We spoke to a lawyer, so we're going to decline your interview.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit about why that is?
No.
Okay. I'm a little bit surprised. Last time we were here, all good.
I don't care. We talked to our lawyer, and unless you have a warrant signed by a judge, and you can't come in.
That's not how it works.
Okay. Well.
I just was concerned about a little bit of fighting and.
I know, and that's what you said a month ago. And when he said everything was fine, and 2 sheriffs came on 2 separate occasions, I noticed you don't have a sheriff with you again.
Yeah, I know.
So you're supposed to do that. So you're breaking protocol. I know the law. I spoke to a lawyer. I spoke to sheriffs.
Okay,
you don't have to know anything that I give you.
Okay.
You don't have to know anything that I say.
I guess I'm.
Do you have a warrant?
No.
Okay. Thank you so much, and have a good day.
Okay.
Wrecked. Hi.
How's it going?
How's it going? How's it going?
They try to get, and they're going to come up there and then they're going to write some bullshit to make you look as bad as possible because their whole job is to relocate your kids into a fucking child trafficking. That's exactly what they do, man.
It's demonic.
It is.
It's
absolutely.
literally demonic. That's what I call it. It really is.
It is demonic.
Now, this is interesting. Listen to Biden very carefully here. This is crazy. Listen to it.
It looked to me as I traveled when I was out with you in California, what it reminded me of more of a war scene where you had certain targets that were bombarded, where artillery was just blew them up. With no rhyme or reason. In other words, you'd have this fire going crazy and burning everything down and 3 houses being fine. Nothing's happening. Or neighborhoods that were still green. And next to a place that, for example, we're just looking at a Secret Service house that was out there. All the vehicles are melted. Yet that house next door still has green shrubbery on it. And, the house is fine. There's only, I think, 4 or 5 houses in that 200, it's in the Pasadena area. But my generic point is, it's almost like it's a battle scene.
But Mr. President, we saw that in South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, and Florida with hurricanes.
Yeah.
This is also the nature of, to your point, this changing climate, these extreme weather.
Kamala to the rescue. Right? She's shut him right down, man. She shut him right down, started talking about climate change. But that motherfucker noticing shit that we noticed. So if it's as that obvious that senile old bastard can actually
or that actor.
I mean, come on, man.
It doesn't even look like his profile. Dave, you and I were alive when he was Joe Biden. Come on.
God,
that's not the same guy.
Yeah, it's not
Like,
the same guy.
insane.
He's changed. They changed him out.
Oh, let's see here. Oh, fuck. This is really bad. Look at this scenery of this is still, oh my God. This is just so amazing to me. I mean, it just blows me the fuck away. It's just.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Yeah, that wind is what's doing it, man.
Wow.
That's a hot fire, too. It looks like.
Wow.
But it doesn't look like. I don't know. It doesn't look like it. It looks like an accelerated fire. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just.
You think they put accelerants in there in the area?
It seems so fucking bright,
Mm-hmm. It seems otherworldly. Like it doesn't. It's crazy. It looks like hellfire to me. It really does look like hell.
Oh my God,
it's not natural. I'll just say that. I mean, I don't buy that it's natural.
What was this? Really interesting, worth a look. Oh yeah, the patent on directed energy and shit.
There's more flames coming out of there than Obama's ass after he had Taco Bell.
Oh, this was interesting too. You know what we've said on here about the Trump's assassination in Butler, Pennsylvania. I've said it was a show the whole time, right? And Donald might have slipped up and admitted it. Listen here, this is pretty crazy. Let me put this back up.
With Donald Trump's WWE selection of Vince McMahon's wife for education secretary. Maybe it is all a WWE pony show happening under the Washington's District of Criminals big top. Now, I say this because while speaking with Mark William Calloway, also known as World Wrestling Entertainment's Undertaker, about his wildly famous Georgia mugshot photo, Donnie started talking about how much more popular his Butler, Pennsylvania assassination photo is. And while he's talking about it, it sounds like Trump messed up and called the incident an act that he didn't want to make look too perfect.
This picture, I think, is even maybe bigger, right? This
Oh,
picture
it's
is more than
such
likely.
yeah.
I see myself being shot every single day, no matter when. Now, I just left, I was watching something, and they have this picture on the whole act, you know, the whole thing.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Whole
What
act.
was that?
The whole act. You know, the whole thing.
Where, you know, from the time you get shot with, you know, and I'm following my hand down, and somebody obviously is screaming, "Get down, it's bullets," right? Because otherwise it's almost too perfect because of what you followed it.
Well, yeah. You don't want to make an assassination attempt look too perfect.
But I look at my hand, there's blood all over my hand.
There's blood all over your hand, you say? Like,
This is Brian Young. He has High Impact Flicks on X. He's Here's the Deal and The Disturbing Illusion on YouTube. I've been following him for a number of years now.
that hand? To this day, faithful Trump followers tell me, Brian, just look at the video. Look at the pictures. There's blood all over his hand. There's blood everywhere. My question is, what alternate reality are these people living in?
Otherwise, it's almost too perfect.
Right.
But I look at my hand, there's blood all over my hand. I said, that's either the biggest mosquito in history or I got shot.
You know, Butler's got some big mosquitoes, right?
Butler's, yeah, probably. That.
Well, turns out Butler doesn't just have big mosquitoes. They've got baller plastic surgeons. I mean, that's only 2 weeks of healing. Was it really all an act that they didn't want to make look too perfect? I don't know. Leave your thoughts in the comments below.
I called it
and
the
remember,
day it happened.
Fight, fight, fight.
I
The
called
whole
it
act.
fake.
Otherwise, it's almost too perfect.
I really did. I called it fake the day it happened. I didn't buy it.